On day 1, I spawned in as the Grim Reaper. Then I noticed I was tiny, and I only had 3 hearts. What is this nonsense? I looked around and saw that I was in front of a castle. Ooh, this looks interesting. I'll take a look inside. I opened the door and called out, "Anybody home?" Maybe one of my friends lived here or something. I started wandering around and found myself in a throne room. What is that? I saw a man with a mutant wither skeleton. He was holding a scythe. Wait, I think that's my scythe. How did you get it? The man screamed in rage and pointed at me.
Destroy him!
A bunch of zombies came out from the back room, and I gasped in shock. Without even thinking, I fired an icy blast that froze some of the zombies solid. Huh, that's interesting. I guess this is because I'm as cold as death. I ran out the door and down the stairs as the zombies followed me. That was not what I was expecting. And why does that guy have an army of zombies? That's not right. I found a small cave and decided to sleep there for the night. Tomorrow, I'll find out what's going on. On day 2, I left the cave to go exploring. I walked for half a day until I found my way to the autumn forest. I don't really have a home, so I guess I'm gonna have to make one. I started collecting some wood to make a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. After some additional mining and crafting, I had some simple stone tools and weapons. Well, it's better than nothing. I had been working so hard all day, so when I stopped, I realized I was hungry. What does a Grim Reaper eat? I found some cows and pigs and cooked up some food for myself. It didn't do anything to help. In fact, it made me feel sick. Gross, I need to find something else. I noticed that it had gotten dark. Suddenly, a group of zombies popped out and started attacking me. With my new stone sword, I was able to take them out easily. They had dropped some meat, and I stared at it hungrily. Maybe this will help me? I ate the meat, and sure enough, my hearts were restored. I feel much better now. I made it back to my base and worked on a few more things before heading to bed. On day 3, I went back out to find more materials for the base. It was safe enough, but I wanted to make some improvements. It turned out to be a nice day. I hope nothing too crazy happens today. I realized I had spoken too soon, because just then, I heard an awful crash. I ran to see what the noise was when I saw a Dread Queen fighting a bunch of zombies. Hey, leave her be! I rushed forward with my weapons. The zombies started to attack me when I remembered my trick at the castle. I fired out some ice blasts and froze up some of those nasty zombies. The others noticed and started to run away.
Nice job, Death. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Did you shrink?
Who are you?
I'm Famine. Do you know me?
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, this must have been Lord Terror's doing. I knew he was up to no good.
I was so confused at this point. Famine could see that I was overwhelmed.
You are the Grim Reaper, or Death. I'm Famine, and we have 2 friends, War and Pestilence. We establish order in the world. But Lord Terror, as he calls himself, started messing with stuff. He's been infiltrating the villages and turning people into undead.
That's horrible. Those souls need to be freed and move on.
I thought that's what you were planning, but nobody has seen you for a while. Now I know something bad happened. You're smaller and you don't look like yourself.
This is a lot to take in. How about we get back to my base? It's not a castle, but it's safer than out here.
Sure.
Famine and I made our way back to my base, just in time for the sun to set. On days 4 to 5, I helped Famine make a little home at my base.
I was driven out of my home by the undead. I guess Lord Terror is getting more powerful as the days go on.
The house wasn't too fancy, but Famine seemed to like it, and she thanked me. No problem, anything for a friend. I went out to look for some more supplies when I saw a group of skeletons near a cave entrance. I'm Death, surely they won't want to harm me. As I approached, they seemed friendly, but then they started shooting me with their bows. Hey, we aren't enemies! Honestly, I didn't know anymore. I was just a baby after all. I used my sword to attack, and soon enough, they were all gone. Hey, what's that? I noticed a bow on the ground, and I picked it up. It had an enchantment of flame on it. Nice, this will come in handy. On day 6 to 8, well out in the forest near my base, I gathered some meat from some more cows and pigs. Famine got hungry a lot after all. I'm gonna keep working and getting stronger. Lord Terror doesn't stand a chance against me.
Is that so?
I looked, and to my surprise, it was Lord Terror. He had a few zombies around him. Let those innocent souls go. You don't have a right to keep them here. Lord Terror laughed and swung the scythe around.
I'm the Lord of Death now, little Reaper. I won your scythe fair and square.
What are you talking about? He seemed tired of talking, so he swung at me instead. Whoa! He was fast. I tried to dodge him, but he kept getting hits in.
I beat you once. I will beat you again.
I gotta get out of here! I ran as fast as my little legs could carry me. As I did, I heard Lord Terror laughing from behind me.
That's right, little Reaper. Run away. I will see you soon enough.
On days 9 to 10, I made it back to the base. Famine could tell I was hurt, and she tried her hardest to help me.
It's okay, Death. You will grow stronger and eventually beat Lord Terror. He's just a silly little monster trying to steal other people's things.
I felt a little bit better after our talk, but I still felt exhausted.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have a surprise for you.
She brought me outside to show me a statue she was beginning to make.
Ta-da!
It's great, Famine! Is it a tent?
No, silly. Do you really not know what it is?
I looked again. Can you tell what it is?
I also made some other upgrades while you were gone.
She showed me the lanterns and a small archery range. Wow, you've really outdone yourself.
It's the least I can do for a friend.
Famine was awesome. I was glad I was able to find her. I hoped our other friends were doing okay. I would go looking for them soon. On days 11 to 12, I had a vivid dream. I was a fully grown Grim Reaper with my scythe at my side. I was living in the castle that I had escaped from on day 1. Everything is as it should be.
Not quite.
I looked and saw Lord Terror, except he looked like a normal villager.
I believe we have a game that needs playing, Death.
With his dark powers, Lord Terror began to steal away my energy and my ability. He shapeshifted into his mutant wither skeleton self as I became a sad little baby Reaper. Ah! I woke up in horror at the nightmare I had just had. I rushed to Famine to tell her about it. She shook her head.
So that's what happened. I knew you made a deal with a dying human, but I didn't know you lost all your power in the process.
That can't be it. Why am I back, but as a baby? Why can he control the dead? Famine shook her head.
Maybe our friends know. I think it's about time we go find them.
On days 13 to 15, I went out to explore. I was hoping to find war or pestilence, but they didn't seem to be anywhere. I hoped they weren't captured or anything. I realized I was back in the area where I had seen Famine for the first time. There were a bunch of zombies milling around still. I guess they just expected her to come back. Get lost! I drew my bow and defeated them one by one. I didn't realize it until now, but I was releasing their souls from their bodies. I was freeing them. Nice! I managed to release all their souls when I felt a power coursing through me. I grew in size and became an older Grim Reaper. I'm bigger and I have 30 hearts. I realized I could also now turn invisible for short periods. That'll come in handy. I can't wait to try this out later. On days 16 to 19, I found a cave and decided to mine for some more materials. This looks promising. Hopefully I can find some iron in here. As I was venturing deeper into the cave, I saw a group of skeletons standing right on top of an iron deposit. It looks like I'm gonna have to take care of that. I drew my bow. They noticed me immediately and began shooting. Come on, guys, I just need some iron. After just a few more shots, they were all gone, their bows and arrows scattered around me. I mined the iron without any more trouble and got to work. I smelted the iron into ingots with a furnace, then was able to make a new sword, pickaxe, and some other tools. Yes, things are looking up. On days 20 to 22, I started to head back to my base when I noticed I was being followed. I went invisible briefly and waited for them to approach. Then, as the figure approached, I turned visible again and jumped out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm a friend.
He was a crimson wizard, and the red of his outfit made me think of anger, which then made me think, are you War?
In the flesh. Yeah, I thought you looked kind of different. You're, not as tall as you used to be.
I told him what happened, and he whistled.
That sounds awful. Hopefully you can get your scythe and your castle back. Those are pretty sick.
Thanks?
No problem.
I invited him back to my base, and he happily agreed.
And I thought my house was a fortress, you know, being war and all. But those pesky undead got inside and started breaking everything. So I left. Good thing I ran into you.
We were nearly to the base when we saw Famine running toward us.
Oh, hey, Famine!
She didn't even acknowledge War.
Death! Lord Terror is outside. He is threatening to take down the base. Wait, war?
Sheesh, it's like I'm invisible.
Stay here. I'll go see what he wants. If I need help, I'll call for you. War and Famine got to catching up while I approached the entrance. Sure enough, Lord Terror was there with my scythe. I believe that scythe belongs to me.
See now, little Reaper. I won this fair and square. You agreed to the terms.
I don't even remember what happened. And you're just a human. You can't beat death. That's my calling.
You're wrong. The witch gave me the ability to win this power.
Witch? Lord Terror screamed and charged at me. I dodged him and used my Ice Blast ability to try to stop him. It didn't work for some reason. What in the world? He laughed and lunged at me again. I slashed him with my new iron sword. I actually managed to hit him, and he looked at me in shock. I was about to hit him again when he slammed the scythe into the ground, pushing me back.
I'll be back to finish you off.
And with that, Lord Terror ran away.
What a coward.
I'll say.
I looked and saw War and Famine looking out from behind the trees. I did manage to wound him though, so that means I'm getting stronger.
Yeah, but you have a lot of work to do.
On days 23 to 26, I chatted with War about Lord Terror.
You definitely need some upgrades if you're gonna fight Lord Terror and beat him. I can think of a few things that might be useful to you.
Like what?
Well, you definitely need to upgrade your sword. Iron is alright, but you need some diamonds and an enchanting table to improve your attack.
Okay, where should I go? War told me all the places where I would find the supplies. It wasn't a short list. This might take a while.
You want to defeat Lord Terror and get your scythe back, right?
Of course I do.
Then get to it.
I started gathering materials for the enchanting table and managed to make one all by myself.
Good job, Death.
Thanks. If you think I'm doing a good job, be sure to join me on all my other adventures. Just search Zozo. On days 27 to 31, I went to check on Famine. I hadn't seen her while I was gathering supplies, and I wanted to make sure she was okay. Hey, Famine, how are you liking your house?
It's great. Look what I've been working on.
She led me to the statue, which I could definitely tell was an hourglass. You've made some great progress.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite there yet. I wanted to add something special on top. It's a surprise. Could you get some white and black wool for me?
Sure. I made my way outside to find some sheep to bring back to the base. I found an abandoned village and spotted some sheep in pens. Perfect! As I went to collect them, I heard something approaching. A horde of zombies were coming toward me. They must have been the villagers that used to live here. You guys need a rest, and I'm so sorry Lord Terror is doing this to you. I used my weapons to release the souls from the undead. I was much more powerful and helped them all in just a few moments. Hopefully, you can all be at peace now. I gathered the sheep and managed to bring them all back to the base. It wasn't easy, but I knew that Famine would appreciate it. On days 32 to 35, I went to gather some more food for all of us. Pork seemed like a pretty safe bet. I know the pigs will be easy to find, but I need to wait until dark for the zombies. I decided to set up a little trap for them, and sure enough, they fell right into it.
Impressive, Death.
Who is that?
You don't recognize my voice? Shame on you, old friend.
Then I saw someone step out from behind the mushrooms. Of course I didn't notice her. She was a mushroom lord. She blended in. Pestilence.
Did you shrink?
Yeah, I shrunk. I told Pestilence what had happened, and she hissed in disapproval.
Now, why would you do that, Death? You are too clever to be outsmarted and depowered by some lowly wither skeleton.
That's the thing. I think Lord Terror cheated me. He mentioned something about a witch. I think that he somehow won because of her.
Well, the only witch I know of is Famine.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I've heard of an apothecary that lives here in the swamp. Maybe that's who he went to.
This is great information. Pestilence agreed to take the food back to the base while I looked for the witch. Hopefully, she could give me more information about Lord Terror. On days 36 to 39, I journeyed further into the fungal patch in search of the witch. I thought for sure that I would find her, but I didn't see a house anywhere. Where in the world is she? I looked around some more when I saw a group of rabbits. They were acting kind of strange, a little too organized. Maybe they're her henchmen or something. I should follow them. Actually, they're probably just stocking up on food. How silly of me to think that they were working for the witch. Then I noticed that the rabbits all gathered together again. They seemed to be examining each other's food. Okay, I should maybe look somewhere else. Then the rabbits all bounded toward a large mushroom and disappeared. Whoa, where did they go? I quickly followed after them, running straight toward the mushroom. On days 40 to 43, I ran through the fungal patch, chasing the rabbits. What in the world?
Intruder!
A large group of rabbits came bounding toward me.
What are you doing in Our Lady's realm? Did you have an inquiry?
Is this where the witch lives? The rabbits gasped.
You dare call her such a rude name! She is an apothecary of great renown!
Sorry, I just need answers. I don't mean her any harm.
You look like you do.
Then the rabbits started jumping at me. Hey! I didn't want to hurt them, so I just tried to swat them away as nicely as I could.
Death? What are you doing here?
I looked up to see a friendly witch.
Friends, no need to harass Death. I'm sure he has a reason for being here.
The rabbits stopped attacking me and quickly surrounded the woman. Who are you?
I'm Amelia. I wasn't expecting you for quite some time.
I'm not here to collect your soul. I just need to know why you helped Lord Terror.
Lord Terror?
He stole my power and made me regenerate. He took my scythe and is using it to keep souls captive in their undead bodies. Amelia gasped and started to shake her head.
That was Logan Turner. I gave him a potion of luck. He said he needed it in order to fulfill his last dream before he passed. I had no idea he would use it for such an awful thing.
She seemed genuinely upset.
I can't undo what's been done, but maybe this can help you.
She went inside her house and came out with a potion. What is this?
A potion of strength. You will need that in order to get your scythe back.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you again, but hopefully not for a long time.
She waved goodbye as I left her realm, returning to the swamp. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base. Pestilence, famine, and war were having a good time together. I noticed they had improved their homes as well as the wall of the base. You've been busy.
So have you, my friend. Did you find the witch?
Apothecary, and yes, she was very nice. I told them the whole story and showed them the potion.
That'll be useful later. I'm glad you were able to find her. Probably gave her quite a scare though.
Just a little bit. We all laughed and chatted for a little bit before Famine jumped up.
Oh, come look at the statue.
I went to look and sure enough, Famine had outdone herself. On top of the hourglass was a skull that looked just like my face. Whoa, it's amazing.
You've been a great friend to us, Death. It's the least we can do.
We admired the statue together for a little while longer and then went to bed. On days 50 to 53, I woke up to a loud crash. I hurried outside to see what it was, and there were zombies everywhere. I could see Lord Terror standing on the edge of the wall. Come and fight me yourself, Logan.
Don't call me that.
He snarled at me and then swung the scythe. It nearly knocked me over, but it also knocked out some of the undead. Time to be freed, my friends. I used my iron sword on the group of undead, freeing them from their cursed bodies. It took a little while, but I eventually got them all. You can all be at peace now. Just then, I felt a pain in my back. I grew taller and gained more hearts. I looked at my back to see what the pain was and realized that I had grown dark feathery wings. Whoa, this is amazing. I flew up for a minute to survey the damage. This is gonna take some time to fix.
Death!
I looked and saw Famine and Pestilence running toward me. I lowered myself to the ground. What's wrong?
Lord Terror took war. The undead were just a distraction.
No! I slumped to the ground. I thought I could protect everyone, but Lord Terror was too clever. He needed to pay. On days 54 to 57, we all worked hard to fix the base. We gathered supplies, made the walls taller, and added extra security measures, including a small moat. After working all day, we sat down to chat about our next move.
There's no doubt that Lord Terror took war to the castle.
Why do you say that?
Oh yeah, you don't remember. There's a massive dungeon in the basement. It has cages, traps, and all sorts of things. We actually used it to meet there sometimes for brunch.
Sounds lovely.
It was. We should do it again soon.
Famine cleared her throat.
Sorry, but he'll be there for sure. There is a back entrance where we would come in. Quicker that way.
Pestilence gave me directions, and I wrote them down. I needed to find our friend before Lord Terror did something awful. But first, I needed to prepare. On days 58 to 62, I went mining for more diamonds. I needed to make some better armor and weapons for myself, since I had no idea what I might face at the castle. I I wasn't having any luck and was about to go search another cave when I saw a glimmer just up ahead. Diamonds! I walked forward, then felt something fall on me from above. It was a huge hairy spider, and he had brought some friends. I'm a friend, no need to hurt me. The spiders kept attacking, and I had no choice but to defend myself. Soon enough, they were all gone. Now, on to the diamonds. The deposit was actually really large, and I managed to make armor, plus a new sword and a pickaxe. Sweet! I felt just a little bit more ready to go save war. On days 63 to 66, I noticed that part of the statue had been damaged during the fight. I didn't want to finish it without War, so I just admired it with all its burns and marks. I'll save you, War, I promise.
Hello, Mr. Death, sir!
I looked and saw some of Amelia's rabbit friends gathering around me. You aren't going to jump on me again, are you?
No, sir, we need your help. Amelia has been captured by that Lord Terror man. We don't have the strength to get her back. Could you get her back?
The rabbits looked very concerned. Of course, he has my friend too. He's probably keeping them in the same place.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Death, sir.
I'll be back soon. In the meantime, you can wait here with my friends. They can help you. They agreed to stay while I rescued Amelia. This was going to be a little bit more difficult, but I was determined. And hey, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to subscribe. We love having you here with us. On days 67 to 70, I followed the directions to the back door entrance of the dungeon. It was hiding behind some trees and bushes. Good job me for thinking ahead. I entered quietly and made my way down, down, down. I didn't hear much for a while, so I thought I was in the clear. What was that? I turned a corner and saw a swarm of zombies blocking the hallway. They saw me and started ambling toward me. Get back! I used my wings to fly over them. I fired my ice blast at them from the air, freezing them solid. Peace, friends. I lowered myself in front of a door and opened it carefully.
Death!
It's about time you showed up.
War and Amelia were stuck in cages, and I quickly broke the bars to free them.
How did you know I was here?
Your loyal little friends told me.
They really are the best, aren't they?
Sure are. Let's get out of here. On days 71 to 74, we made our way back up toward the back door. Then I noticed a lever I hadn't seen before. It was hiding behind a pillar. I wonder what this opens.
Is that a wise idea?
It was my house. I'm sure it'll be fine. I released the lever and the trapdoor opened. I went inside and saw a chest in a small room. There's a chest.
Well, what are you waiting for? Open it.
I opened it, and inside were netherite ingots, gold, diamonds, and some other ingredients for enchanting. Wow! I climbed back up and showed War.
Hey, you can finally make that sword we've been talking about.
Right! We continued out, following the stream of daylight. On days 75 to 78, we finally made it out.
Thank goodness. I was beginning to think that Lord Terror would hold us there forever.
Not so fast.
Lord Terror came around the corner, scythe in hand.
You dare take my witch and my strongest soldier?
I am not a witch.
Then I would never fight for you.
We brandished our weapons as Lord Terror snarled.
Why won't you just die?
He swung the scythe, but I managed to dodge. I then swung my sword and hit Lord Terror. He stepped back, then swung again. He was fast, but I was an equal opponent now. I could sense his fear.
No, 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 no!
He slammed the hilt of the scythe into the ground and blasted us back. Somehow, through some dark magic, he stole my potion of strength and drank it. On days 79 to 84, we all watched in horror as Lord Terror grew and grew and grew. He was enormous!
Oh no!
We need to go! Lord Terror laughed as I picked up my friends and flew away with them. This has to end soon, or Lord Terror is going to take over everything. On days 85 to 89, we arrived safely back at my base. Famine and Pestilence came running out to greet us.
Okay, you better not cry, because I'm not good at dealing with emotion.
Amelia saw her rabbits, and they all jumped for joy. It seemed like things were at least a little normal for now.
Death, come! We need to fix that sword of yours.
War took me to upgrade my sword, and then showed me how to enchant it. Wow, this will really help, War. Thanks for everything you've done.
Hey, I love conflict, but not when it involves my friends. It's the fire aspect enchantment. It'll give your sword a burning edge. This will help you to get your scythe back.
How?
Lord Terror doesn't always have the scythe with him. He likes to hang it up in the main corridor and just admire it. I heard him talking about it while we were captured.
This is great information war.
If you can fight him off long enough to get the scythe back, that'll be the key to stopping Lord Terror for good.
I agreed and went to show my friends. They oohed and awed before Famine spoke up.
Come and see what Pestilence and I did with the help of the rabbits.
They took me over to the statue, which now had wildflowers growing all around the base. On top was the skull, now with flowers and a touch of flames. Guys, this looks awesome.
You are the Lord of Death, but we know you have a soft side.
I do like flowers. I stared at it in awe. I really did have amazing friends. On days 90 to 94, I traveled back to the castle to retrieve my scythe. If I did it while Lord Terror was unaware, surely I would be able to defeat him. As I approached the castle, I decided to just hide next to one of the pillars inside the throne room and stake it out. I could see Lord Terror back to his normal size. Thank goodness. He was standing around, admiring the scythe. That's mine. I waited for a long time before he fell asleep. I quietly opened the door and snuck past him, grabbing the scythe from the wall. I expected to grow into my full form, but something was wrong.
Intruder!
Lord Terror started to charge at me. I brandished my new sword and smacked him backwards. He brought out another potion and drank it before charging at me. He was incredibly fast, and I could barely see him as he struck me. Oh no! My hearts were fading fast since I couldn't defend myself. I ran away, taking the scythe with me.
It won't work for you, little Reaper. You are too late.
I didn't know what he meant, but I flew away before he had a chance to attack me again. I need to fix whatever he did to my scythe, otherwise I'm dead meat. On days 95 to 97, I brought my scythe back to the base and had War examine it.
I don't know what to tell you. It looks normal to me.
Maybe Amelia will know. I took it to her and she examined it.
This is my fault. Lord Terror forced me to make a binding spell. He is now bound to the scythe by an enchantment.
How do I break it?
I'll have to make a counterspell, but it will probably take a few days. I might even break it.
Do it. She worked tirelessly trying to fix the scythe, and I did what I could to assist her. I really need this to work. On day 98, I helped Amelia with what I could, but she said I needed to wait for the result. I made my way outside and admired our base and the statue. It had been a difficult journey so far, but I was glad that I had found my friends, made some new ones, and grown stronger. Even if my scythe didn't work, I knew that I would defeat Lord Terror somehow. Hey, we're really glad that you've been here on this journey too. Be sure to subscribe and search for Zozo for more videos. Also, comment below on what my next adventure should be. I can't wait to see what you say. On day 99, I went to look for Amelia. She looked a little discouraged.
I don't know if the spell worked. You'll need to wield it in battle to see.
Well, then I guess it's time to go fight Lord Terror.
I'm sorry about all the trouble I've caused. If it wasn't for me, none of this would have happened.
Maybe, but I'm glad it did. I got to find my old friends again, build an awesome base, and meet you. You're an awesome apothecary, Amelia.
Which? But who's keeping track? Go give him, well, you know.
I smiled as I flew off towards the castle, scythe in hand. As I landed on the steps, the door was open for me. The undead were nowhere to be seen, but Lord Terror stood on the steps, sword in hand, potion in the other.
You can't defeat me.
We'll see about that. I took my scythe and slammed the hilt into the ground, causing everything to shake. I felt a surge of power, and I was connected to my weapon again. I grew taller, my hearts increased, and my wings spanned further. You have cheated death, Logan Turner, and for that, you must pay. Lord Terror drank a potion, and he grew taller. As our weapons met, there was a brilliant burst of light.
It's not fair. I am Lord Terror, the new Grim Reaper. I earned that title.
I lifted myself into the air, letting the scythe swing down with a mighty force. You stole that title. I am the rightful Grim Reaper, and now you must move on. Lord Terror screamed before the scythe made contact, and in a burst of smoke, he was gone. On day 100, I flew back to the base triumphant and glorious in my final form. Everyone cheered as I descended, and they even tried to hug me.
You're our hero. The world is finally right again.
And that was the honest truth. On day 1, I spawned in as a lethal poison lizard in the middle of the deep dark Zelkova forest. Oh, I look like I'm one rad reptile, even though I'm just a little baby lizard. I wonder if I have any powers. I walked over to a tree and swiped at it. I didn't even have a tool or weapon, but it turned out I had a set of awesome poison claws that I could use for claw-based attacks. I certainly wouldn't want to mess with me. But just because I wouldn't mess with me doesn't mean other people wouldn't. This point was proven when a huge, dog-headed guy charged through the forest towards me.
You dares invade the overworld of the mighty Lord Anubis? You are a trespasser, and all trespassers will be annihilated.
Maybe we can work this out. What if I did some work for you? I'm really good at completing quests.
What kind of value would I ever find in a nasty little poison lizard? To have you in my royal sight disgusts me. I will crush you, destroy you, leave not even a memory of your presence. Prepare to meet your doom, lizard!
Before I could even try to reason with him, Anubis blasted a fireball near to me. I didn't feel like taking my chances. I just turned and ran off as fast as I could. Oh no, I'm gonna need to get strong enough to defeat that guy, or I'm toast. I guess being a poison lizard doesn't win you many friends right off the bat. I hid in the forest, but that didn't mean I was out of the woods yet, literally. On day 2, I continued my journey through the forest. It wasn't long until I felt my reptilian stomach rumble and decided that I needed to source some food. I don't see anything meaty around here, so I guess I'll settle for some fruit. Is there an apple tree anywhere near me? I searched for a little while until I found one, before striking it down with my poison claws and grabbing some yummy apples to eat. At least I know now that I won't keel over from hunger. It'll probably be that evil jackal god with the fireballs that does me in. Speaking of the devil, I saw a desiccated desert mummy walking out of the trees near to me. He didn't look friendly, I could tell you that much.
You must be the nasty little lizard that the great Lord Anubis told me about.
Of course you work for him, but why? He doesn't seem like he'd be a chill boss.
Fool! Anubis was the lord of the underworld, and with our help, he has conquered the overworld too. All who defy him must be eliminated.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I struck him with my poison claw attacks, but seeing that the desert mummy was already undead, my poison didn't affect him much. He was too strong. Uh-oh, all I could do was turn around and run, and I kept running until the desert mummy was fully out of sight. It was so frustrating to not be strong enough to defeat anyone. But when I stopped to rest, a ghost miner suddenly materialized right in front of me. Oh no, are you gonna attack me too?
No, Zozo. I am your spirit guide. It is up to me to help you fulfill your destiny.
My destiny?
It is unsafe to discuss here. Come with me.
He talked a good game, so I walked after the mysterious ghost miner. On day 3, the ghostly miner kept leading me through the Zelkova forest until we came upon a strange little cottage in the middle of the woods. This place seems a little suspicious.
This is the dwelling of the mystery sheep, Zozo. He is one of the allies that will help you along your journey to fulfilling your true destiny. Trust in me, and all will be okay in the end.
The ghost miner disappeared. He was certainly a strange guy, but who was I to disagree with the advice of my spirit guardian? Time to speak to the mystery sheep, I guess. I patiently waited at the door until it opened, and the mystery sheep trotted out.
What brings you here, stranger?
I was told to visit you by my spirit guide. He told me that you could help me fulfill my destiny.
Oh yes? And what is your destiny?
Good question. I'm not entirely sure, but it's gotta have something to do with defeating this Lord Anubis guy who attacked me as soon as I arrived.
Ah, Lord Anubis, an arrogant little god, and vain too. I can see why he would despise a little poison lizard like you. But there's good news in that, my friend. If he underestimates you, then you can take him by surprise. If you do that, then you may have a chance to defeat him.
With that advice, I left the cottage to go make my own way in the world. The mystery sheep is right. Underestimating me might be the worst mistake that Anubis ever made. From day 4 to day 5, I kept searching until I found a little clearing in the Zelkova forest, big enough to build a little base for myself. I'm never gonna get strong enough to defeat Anubis if I don't learn to be independent. But I can't accomplish my goals if I don't have the right tools. That's why I slashed down a tree and used its resources to build myself a wooden pickaxe. Then, I didn't waste any time digging into the ground to collect some stone and craft myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. The stone sword will be useful if I run into another one of those freaky desert mummies. With my tool building work done for the day, I finally put some effort into building a little base. I made it out of wood and stone to keep it sturdy and made myself a little bedroom where I could relax when I wasn't out adventuring. My day's progress made my spirit guide, the ghost miner, materialize right in front of me.
Zozo, you have done well. Every step you take brings you closer to your destiny.
Thank you, Ghost Miner. Your advice has been super helpful.
Good. I have a gift for you. Take some of my ghostly energy and feel your power grow.
The Ghost Miner hit me with a blast of powerful spirit energy right in my face, and I could immediately feel myself getting bigger and stronger. I now had 20 hearts, more powerful attacks, and the ability to fire poison blasts.
You will be the one to save us all, Zozo.
From day 6 to day 8, I ventured out of the Zelkova forest for the first time. I decided to wander around the Badlands, which had a warmer climate that's perfect for a cold-blooded poison lizard like me. Feels good to feel the warmth on my scales. But my trip to the Badlands wasn't just an exercise in pure escapism and relaxation. As I walked, I was suddenly ambushed by the same desert mummy who had attacked me earlier.
Time for some pest control. I'm going to destroy you once and for all, you nasty little poison lizard, for the glory of the great Lord Anubis.
I'm not gonna be that easy, Mr. Mummy. I'm a lot stronger than I used to be.
You think that matters to Lord Anubis? I'm just one of his mummy servants. Death is just the beginning, Zozo.
No, it's the end. I fired one of my poison blasts at the mummy to slow him down, then ran in with my stone sword to dash him and slash him until he poofed into nothing. That's what you get for bullying me, you beastly bundle of bandages.
I'm impressed, Zozo. Well done.
I turned and saw a mysterious forest guardian standing right behind me.
You have proven yourself to be a potential friend of the forest, my son. And if you help me rid this sacred place of evil, then I can give you wondrous prizes and powers. Do you agree to help me, Zozo?
That sounds like a great deal to me. Let's go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the guardian of the forest deeper into the Badlands. It didn't take him long to lead me to a location where a huge, terrifying spider queen was waiting. That's what he wants me to slay? Yikes, I guess I'll try my best. I ran in and tried to mount a sneak attack on the Spider Queen, but my attacks weren't strong enough to leave any lasting damage, and I couldn't say the same for her attacks against me. I ran away as fast as I could until I rendezvoused with the Guardian of the Forest and told him what happened.
I'm sorry for sending you into danger like that, Zozo. All things considered, you're lucky to be alive. Perhaps being a poison lizard allowed you to have a greater immunity to her Spider Queen venom.
I think when I'm stronger, I'll be able to take her down. In the meantime, why don't you come and stay at my base? I really need to gain some allies right now for a battle I'm fighting against Lord Anubis right now.
Of course, you have assisted in my battle, so I will assist in yours. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the Guardian of the Forest. I immediately set to work, making him a room on the grounds of the base where he could stay while I was training. It wasn't all that impressive, but it was probably a decent place to get some rest at night. After I was done building, the Guardian came over to me with some good news.
I've built some upgrades for your base, Zozo, as an apology for putting you in a dangerous situation before. Go take a look.
The Guardian of the Forest had clearly used his supernatural powers to work fast. He'd built 3 upgrades: a chicken farm with a few chickens already herded inside, a storage room for spare equipment, and a furnace for smelting raw materials. This is incredible, thank you! And in fact, this gives me an idea. I went into a deep cave next to my base, and I explored inside until I found some iron ore, and used my stone pickaxe to mine it. Then, I went back to my base, used the furnace to smelt the ore into ingots, and turn those ingots into an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I'm really moving up in the world! From day 13 to day 15, the Ghost Miner, my spirit guide, materialized into the base.
Zozo, you must return to the Badlands!
But why Spirit Guide?
Another one of Anubis's minions, the Desert Mummy, is waiting there. If you defeat him, you will ascend to the next level of strength.
As you wish, Spirit Guide. I ventured out to the Badlands again, and it didn't take me long to find the exact Desert Mummy that the Ghost Miner had told me about. I pulled out my new iron sword, ran in, and attacked until the Desert Mummy was no more. And this gave me enough XP to upgrade again and level up, getting me up to 30 hearts and giving me a bigger, stronger body and more powerful attacks. Whoa, the Ghost Miner is always worth listening to. From day 16 to day 19, I decided to go and explore the strange, eerie Weeping Witch Forest. It's like something out of a fairy tale, a really weird, spooky fairy tale. And it was an interesting place to explore anyway. It was cold and dark, and it felt like something eerie could pop out from around any corner. So it didn't surprise me when another desert mummy emerged right in front of me, ready to battle.
You have slain my undead brethren, but you won't slay me, Zozo. I will annihilate you in the name of my master, Lord Anubis.
I still don't understand why you're so desperate to destroy me. Doesn't your Lord Anubis have bigger fish to fry? He is a literal god after all.
Your presence offends him. We need no more reason than that to send you to the underworld, cold and lifeless.
Not if I send you first. I battled the desert mummy. Just like the mystery sheep said, the mummy had underestimated me, just like his boss. And in the end, I defeated him. Wait, did he drop some kind of note? I looked around and found a note that had been dropped by the destroyed mummy. It came straight from Anubis, and it said, "You bandaged buffoons have failed me for too long. You must destroy this Zozo before he gets stronger. If he reaches full power, his poison will be able to harm me. We cannot allow that. Destroy him now." So that's why he wants to destroy me so bad. I understand it now. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my favorite mining cave to collect some more iron ore for crafting purposes. All this iron will perfectly match my iron will. I took the ore back to my base and used my furnace to smelt it into some ingots. Soon after, I had myself a tough new iron chest plate. Now I can really take a mean punch. It's time to settle an old score and go squash that evil Spider Queen. Afterwards, I returned to the Badlands, where I'd first met the Guardian of the Forest and promised to him that I'd defeat the Spider Queen that'd been plaguing the area. A poison lizard always pays his debts. I arrived at the Spider Queen's location, and this time, I was truly ready. With my weapons and powers, I attacked and destroyed the Spider Queen once and for all, freeing the Badlands from her terror for good. But my terror was just beginning. After defeating the Spider Queen, I heard something coming quickly towards me. I turned around, and it was Anubis himself.
Zozo, you monster! You destroyed my pet spider! You are truly my arch enemy!
What? I didn't know she was your pet spider. I just knew she was terrorizing creatures of the Badlands.
Yes, because I told her to. I have even more reasons to destroy you now.
I know the actual truth, Anubis. I know that if I get to my full power, my poison will be able to destroy you.
Oh yes, but you'll never get strong enough to be a threat to me. I'll destroy you first.
Anubis blasted me with fireballs, and I ran away as fast as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to get back to my base in the forest with barely a scratch. Anubis had given up chasing me, but only for the time being. Even if he wasn't on my tail now, he was still out there and knew that I could put a stop to his evil plans if I just got stronger. And luckily for me, that was already happening. I met with the Guardian of the Forest again.
You've done well to slay the Spider Queen, Zozo.
Thanks. I didn't realize she was the pet of Anubis, but hey, without his creepy crawly, he's more vulnerable, right?
We can only hope, Zozo.
I was on a roll, and I couldn't stop now. I headed back to the mines to search for more materials and came across some more iron ore buried underground. I already have an iron sword, pickaxe, and chestplate. What else could come in handy? Oh, a helmet! That would be perfect, having some added armor to protect me. So I turned the iron ore into ingots and crafted myself a brand new helmet. That's when the ghost miner materialized again.
Zozo, come and see.
What is it? I followed my spirit guide. He'd been working on improving my base while I'd been off on my adventures. We'd now had a whole security bunker safe near the main base, a place where we could be secure just in case Anubis' forces ever tried to overrun our base. The bunker was nice and fortified, so they would have had no chance of ever getting in, and we could be nice and protected inside. From day 27 to day 31, I made the decision to venture back towards the Weeping Witch Forest. Even though I'd gotten rid of that nasty desert mummy the last time I was there, the whole place still gave me the creeps. Suddenly, I heard a faint voice, so I looked around to figure out where their voice was coming from. As I turned around, I was startled to see a gigantic axolotl right behind me. Whoa, don't sneak up on me like that.
Oh no, sorry about that, man. People usually spot me coming on the count of me being a big, bright pink axolotl. Didn't mean to startle you.
That's okay. Just tell me you're not working for that big jackal jerk Anubis.
Oh, no, man. In fact, I just wanted to come and say thanks for taking care of that desert mummy of his. Us amphibians and reptiles have got to stick together, right?
That mummy destroyed my home, so I'm glad to be rid of him.
Why don't you come back to my base with me?
Aw, thanks, man.
Well, me and Big Axolotl were heading home. He had tons of suggestions about how I could make my base more homey with some new couches and bookshelves. Once we got home, I started to add his suggestions to the base, adding some couches and some bookshelves to liven up the place.
I actually have a real passion for interior design.
After I left Big Axolotl to relax, the ghost miner reappeared.
Zozo, I have another task for you, my son.
What is it? More trouble?
Indeed, I sense there are more of Anubis's forces nearby. We must act swiftly.
From day 32 to day 35, my spirit guide and I both left the safety of my base and headed back to where I had met the mystery sheep. According to the ghostly miner, the poor sheep was under siege from more of Anubis's dastardly desert mummies. The mystery sheep had given me some helpful advice before and offered me guidance when I wasn't sure what my destiny was, so the least I could do to repay him was help him out in his time of need.
Help! Someone please help!
We arrived at the mystery sheep's dwelling, only to see it was swarming with desert mummies. I had only ever beaten a couple of them before, and only in one-on-one fights. But I had been getting stronger, and my confidence was already increasing, so I leapt into battle! I swiped my iron sword at the mummies, launching a few poison attacks, while making sure the ones up close got a taste of the full fury of my improved combat skills. I took out one and another, but while I was busy fighting my way through them, some of the desert mummies went after the mystery sheep.
Zozo, things look bad. It may be too late for me. Remember your destiny. I know you won't let us down.
I wasn't able to save the mystery sheep. Even by the time I had defeated the other desert mummies, there was no one feeling more defeated than me. From day 36 to day 39, I left to clear my head. The ghost miner offered to come with me so he could comfort me in the wake of losing the mystery sheep, but I told him I'd rather be on my own for a while. I decided I'd head back to the Badlands, feel some more warm sunlight on my scaly lizard skin, in the hopes that that might cheer me up. I was contemplating what had gone wrong. I was stronger, but not strong enough to save my friend. Suddenly, while I was thinking to myself, a phantom fox appeared. Greetings, Zozo. I am Phantom Fox, a spirit of swiftness. I know you are grieving the loss of the mystery sheep, but I have a task you must complete. Okay, I know the mystery sheep wanted me to make everyone proud, so I guess me carrying on getting stronger is what he would have wanted. The Phantom Fox led me toward another of Anubis's minions, an Endergast from the Jackal God's underworld. I ran towards it, prepared to fight, and readied my poison attacks. But I quickly found out that my poison had no effect on the Endergast. So my sword had to do, and with a few strong swings, I was able to defeat the ghastly minion. Well done, Zozo. I know that the mystery sheep would be proud. He and all the other spirits are counting on you to defeat the one who turned on us. You mean Anubis was once one of you? Indeed, but he betrayed us and took control of the underworld, becoming its god. Now, he'll stop at nothing to expand his power up here and control everything that is, that was, and that will be. From day 40 to day 43, I made my way back to my base in the Zelkova forest. I was still feeling sad about the loss of the mystery sheep, but a little better after chatting with the Phantom Fox. But any of my sadness quickly disappeared when I saw what awaited me. My friend, the guardian of the forest, had been working on improving my base to cheer me up. The place had been adorned with plenty of pretty banners draped over the walls to decorate the place. Wow, this place looks great! What made you want to go to all this trouble?
Well, Zozo, I knew you needed your spirits lifted after losing an ally, and by improving the look of our base, I hoped it might bring new allies to us so that we can honor the mystery sheep and stand up to Anubis once and for all.
Decorating the base clearly worked, because a little while later, a spider llama arrived looking for a place to stay, so I gladly let them join us. When the day was almost done, I was finally approached by the big axolotl.
Hey man, listen, I've got a favor to ask. I left some of my special netherite ingots back in the Weeping Witch Forest after my old home was destroyed. Think you could help me get them back?
From day 44 to day 49, I headed back to the Weeping Witch Forest to recover the netherite ingots that Big Axolotl had sent me to look for. He still seemed a little uneasy about heading back to where he'd used to live, just in case there were more of Anubis's desert mummies creeping around the place. So I agreed to take on the task. After all, Big Axolotl was a cool guy, and he'd made some really nice improvements to my base, so I thought I'd return the favor to my friend. But I hadn't made it far before Anubis came bursting out behind the trees to ambush me. I knew there was something creepy about this place.
There you are, pesky little poison lizard. You've been trying to get yourself stronger, and I can't have that.
Scared of my poison then?
On the contrary, I have more important things to do than waste my time on a little pest like you. For once I control both the overworld and the underworld, I'll be able to have full control over who lives and dies.
You can't do that. That'd make you a monster.
Oh, you want a monster? I'll show you a monster.
Anubis vanished, but left a powerful warped phantom in his place. I was about to have one heck of a tough fight on my hands against this monster. From day 50 to day 53, I defended myself against the warped phantom's attacks. Since it was a creature straight from Anubis's underworld, it could blast bolts of powerful undead spirit energy at me. I tried my best to fend it off, retreating deeper into the Weeping Witch Forest to try and regain my health and come up with a better plan of attack. But the warped phantom wasn't giving up the pursuit.
You can run all you like, little lizard. My master, Lord Anubis, has told me not to return until you are destroyed.
I used the cover of the trees to stay out of the phantom's line of sight, sneaking around so that I could outflank it and take it by surprise. My plan worked, and I caught the warped phantom off guard and was barely just able to defeat it. But when I did, I noticed it had dropped something. It was a map with directions that led right to Anubis's pyramid. It wasn't a desert biome though, it was all the way over in the snowy taiga. Of course, Anubis might be the god of the underworld, but all his minions and mummies up here in the overworld are undead, so he must have needed to keep them cold. Now I knew where I could find that jackal-headed jerk when the time came to take him on. From day 54 to day 57, I did my best to find my bearings and get back on task to find the netherite ingots my friend Big Axolotl had stashed. But when I got to Big Axolotl's stash, there was a new problem blocking my path: a swarm of fire guardians. These things looked like they would be a tough fight, so I decided to use the same tactic that had helped me beat the warped phantom. I snuck up on them, and before they spotted me coming, I leapt into battle. I used my poisonous attacks, and they worked. The poison slowed the fire guardians down and allowed me to have the upper hand. One by one, I extinguished their flames, and after I defeated them, I looted the netherite ingots from the stash and headed back to the base to return them to my friend, and he was thrilled.
Oh, thanks so much, man. You hang on to them. I didn't really need them, but I thought they'd come in handy for you.
So that's why you sent me to get them.
Yeah, I told you before. We amphibians and reptiles have to look out for each other.
From day 58 to day 62, now that I was back at the safety of the base, I decided it would be best to stick around and work on improving things. After all, if the banners the Forest Guardian had put up were going to bring in more allies, then we'd need to be able to feed everyone. I used some wood to craft fences and expanded the chicken farm at the base, so that we had plenty of room for the chickens to lay loads of eggs for everyone. Who doesn't love eggs for breakfast? It was after I'd worked on expanding the chicken farm that I noticed the state of my iron armor. It had seen a lot of action, and all the bumps and batterings of battle had whittled away at its condition. This wasn't going to keep me protected for much longer, so I headed off back to the mine to search for something stronger. And sure enough, digging deeper, I found some diamonds. Bringing them back to the base, I turned them into a fresh new set of diamond armor and a sword and pickaxe to match. Now I had way more defense against Anubis's undead cronies, my sword could do much more damage against them too, and my new pickaxe would make gathering resources all the easier.
Zozo, behold our latest addition.
My spirit guide, the ghostly miner, showed me around the base's brand new party room. We could gather all our allies here, either to have a good time as friends, or coordinate who would be heading out on adventures, who would be gathering resources, and upgrading the base. Wow, this place is looking great! You must have been listening to Big Axolotl's interior decorating tips. From day 63 to day 66, the Guardian of the Forest had some suggestions for where I should head next.
You still have a ways to go, but time is on our side. While Anubis is regaining his forces and planning his next move, yours should be getting stronger. Head to the desert, Zozo. It can be a harsh place, but the heat there should invigorate a cold-blooded lizard such as yourself. And perhaps you will encounter some new challenges to improve your skills and grow your strength.
And so, I headed off in the direction of the desert. There didn't seem to be much there, mostly just lots of sand. It was coarse and rough, and it got everywhere, but at least here, there was plenty of sunlight to warm me up. All of a sudden, I was startled by an abrupt growling coming from nearby. I drew my diamond sword, trusting it could fight off whatever was coming. I was greeted with the sight of a wolfman, and expected him to be one of Anubis's allies.
Relax, friend. I mean you no harm.
Oh, that was surprising. It turned out the wolfman was friendly.
Actually, I've been looking for someone to help me with something, and you seem like just the lizard for the job. What do you say? You up for it?
Sure thing. I came here to get stronger, so let's get to it. From day 67 to day 70, the Wolfman led me to an open plain in the middle of the desert.
You see, there's these pesky soul blazes. They attacked me and took all my armor and weapons. I have claw attacks like you, but there are too many of them for me to fight alone, especially without protection from armor. So what I need you to do is draw their attention while I grab my stuff. Then I can help you take the rest of them out.
So, when we spotted the soul blazes, I rushed straight at them. They all turned and charged towards me as I swung my diamond sword and started dishing out much more damage than ever before. Meanwhile, as I battled the soul blazes, my new Wolfman friend used his wolf speed to get closer to his gear that laid on the ground. He hurriedly got it all on while I chopped at the soul blazes, and with our combined might, we reduced them to dust.
Awesome! What a great fight! You can really hold your own.
I'm glad I could help. From day 71 to day 74, I was in the snowy taiga biome, feeling much tougher than I had when I started. All the hype that the Wolfman had given me made me think I was about ready to take on Anubis himself. I used the map to make my way toward Anubis's pyramid. It was way more accurate than some of the old wooden signs I passed. One of them said, "If you like this video, then you can find more by clicking on our channel or searching ZOZO." Once I'd made it closer, I started to feel strange, like I was maybe a little tired. But that all went to the back of my mind the moment I saw Anubis's pyramid, towering over the rest of the frosty landscape. And I didn't have to get much closer for the underworld god to rear his ugly jackal head.
So you've come to give yourself up already, filthy poison lizard?
Nope. I'm a lot stronger now, Anubis. I came to give you a nice big dose of poison and stop all your crazy schemes.
You will try, I'm sure.
We clashed head on, and I took some swings with my diamond sword. But it felt heavier all of a sudden, and so did my armor. Like I was somehow weaker. Of course, it was the cold weather. This place wasn't just perfect for keeping Anubis's undead minions on ice, but the environment of the snowy taiga also made it harder for me to fight him. He dealt me some pretty bad damage, so I had no choice but to retreat for now. From day 75 to day 78, I made the long trek back to my base in the Zelkova forest. The whole time I felt glum. I had been so eager to take on Anubis, but in doing so, I had overlooked one of his major advantages over me. It didn't seem to matter how much stronger I got now, I would still be a poison lizard. And that was why Anubis had set up his pyramid in the snowy taiga. The longer I was in that place, the more dangerous it became for me, thanks to my cold reptilian blood. I didn't even feel like talking to anyone once I was back in the base. Instead, I just went to my room to be on my own for a while. Until, of course, the ghost miner materialized.
Zozo, don't be disheartened. There will be another opportunity to stop Anubis. For now, come and see. We've all been working hard to make some new improvements to protect this place.
I didn't really feel like it, but I let the ghost miner show me around. The base now had a tall watchtower reaching high up above the forest's tree line, so we could keep a lookout for any approaching danger. Even though I was feeling down, I had to admit it was pretty neat. Then, the big axolotl came to speak to me alone.
Hey man, don't worry. Nobody stays down in the dumps for too long. I got you this. Thought it might help. Consider it a thank you for all you've done for me.
Big Axolotl had given me a magic apple. It really did lift my spirits some more. I was lucky to have him as a friend, and even luckier when I ate the magic apple. I felt the magic from the apple transform me into a larger poison lizard, giving me 60 hearts and even a new power, a jump boost, so I could leap even higher on my reptilian legs. From day 79 to day 84, I was ready to pick myself up and try to take on Anubis again. My extra hearts would have made it easier to survive the snowy taiga, and now I had my jump boost. I could get up in the air right into his smug jackal face, and his attacks would miss me. When I made it back, there was no sign of him though, but a pack of thorn wolves tried to take some bites at me, so I showed off some of my newfound strength. They were no match for me.
My, very impressive.
I turned around to see a huge creeper spider. I kept my guard up, but then realized that if they were going to harm me, they could have used the element of surprise when I was fighting the wolves. Instead, the creeper spider offered to show me around the snowy taiga, teaching me a few tricks for staying warm while I was traversing this frosty part of the overworld. But best of all, they showed me how I could use some of Big Axolotl's netherite ingots. By combining them with my diamond sword, I had now made an even more powerful weapon, a netherite sword. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back to my base to tell my friends the good news, but I was shocked by what awaited me. There was a horde of desert mummies attacking the base. With no time to waste, I rushed into battle to defend my home and my friends from the bandaged fatties. Luckily, my blade of netherite cleaved through most of them with one swing. Seeing I'd taken their numbers down, the remaining desert mummies ran off into the forest. I couldn't let them get away. If they made it back to the snowy taiga, they could tell Anubis exactly where to find my base, and he'd send even more powerful mobs to harm my friends. I rushed after them into the forest. They were a ways ahead of me, and before long, my base had disappeared from view behind all the trees, and so had the desert mummies. Darn it, I had to figure out a way to stop them. While searching the forest, I came across a villager. Hey, have you seen any of Anubis's mummies go this way?
Oh, I have. Please get rid of those horrid undead things.
They pointed me in a direction, but the mummies who'd been causing the villager trouble were a different group. Still, they were Anubis's minions, so I thought it'd be better to take them out nice and quick. My netherite sword made light work of them, and then I kept up the trail of the others, hoping I could reach them in time. From day 90 to day 94, I had been following the desert mummies for quite some time, all the way to the snowy taiga. Oh no, it was too late. They'd be able to report back to Anubis about where my base was. I made sure not to get too close as they approached the Jackal God's pyramid, where they were greeted by a huge beast, a vile ogre.
Good job tracking that poisonous lizard. I will head to that base and destroy what's left on behalf of Lord Anubis. Go and report your findings to him.
Not so fast. I leaped out of cover and stood in the way of the vile ogre.
Ah, there you are. Lord Anubis will be pleased when I tell him you've been destroyed. Do you even know who you're messing with, reptile? I'm Vile Ogre, Anubis's #1 henchman.
Tougher than my poison and netherite sword? From day 95 to day 97, my fight against the vile ogre started. He was bigger and stronger than me, but I had to remind myself that so was I. I'd come a long way since my humble beginnings, but even more importantly, I wasn't fighting just for myself this time. I was fighting to defend my friends who had all worked tirelessly to improve my base, who had helped me persevere when I thought Anubis might beat me, and who had been there for me at my darkest moments. They all deserved protecting, so every swing of my netherite sword or blast of my poison attacks was for them. Luckily for me, the vile ogre didn't realize just how familiar I was with the snowy taiga, thanks to the lessons I'd had from the creeper spider. I was able to use the landscape to my advantage, finding some higher ground that I could leap off of with my jump boost. It sent me high into the air and allowed me to get the jump on him, so to speak. I was able to give him one last strike with my netherite sword and a blast of poison to weaken him.
You bested me. How? How is that possible? Lord Anubis promised I'd be heralded in his new world.
He lied. You and I both know he's not the type to keep his word. He betrayed all the other spirits when he took control of the underworld. My poison will whittle away your remaining health in the next few minutes. Maybe think about using that time wisely.
Fine. Anubis resides in a chamber in the heart of his pyramid, surrounded by his undead armies. You'll never make it to him. You're just one lizard, all alone.
Who said I'd be alone? With the vile ogre defeated, I knew my time to take on Anubis for the final time would soon be at hand. But I was more determined than ever to beat him. I just needed a little help from my friends. On day 98, I made my way back to my base to see that my allies had already made repairs after the desert mummies had attacked. Since I didn't have to worry about repairs, I went to take a quick rest before the big battle. And just like that, the ghost miner appeared to give words of wisdom afterwards.
You've come quite a long way, Zozo. I am very proud, and the mystery sheep would be too.
Thanks. I couldn't have made it this far without such a great spirit guide. I won't let you down. I'll get to Anubis and put a stop to his plans once and for all. The guardian of the forest also had some wisdom to impart to me before I set off on the last part of my journey.
Remember, Zozo, that wherever you are, your true friend will always be with you. Even if we aren't by your side, we can still take us everywhere we go. We all live in the hearts of those that matter to us, and we care about you just as you care about all of those you've helped.
I'll remember. Thanks for everything. And last, but by no means least, my friend, Big Axolotl, seemed to get a bit emotional just as I was about to leave.
Just look after yourself, Zozo man. You're gonna do great. Just make sure you come back in one piece. Oh man, I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
On day 99, I made my final return to the snowy taiga, prepared for a final showdown with Anubis. The forest guardian was right. I had all my friends with me, and I was fighting to keep them safe. Not just them, but everyone in the overworld. If Anubis got his way, he'd be in control of life and death, and I couldn't let that happen. Even to strangers, because they say a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. There was a huge horde of desert mummies waiting for me as I arrived at the pyramid. The cold was making them a little tougher than usual, but hopefully it wouldn't take more than a few strikes of my netherite sword to get through them. Suddenly, before I could get down to the fight, I was stopped by the Wolfman.
Come on, Zozo. Did you really think I'd leave this fight all to you? Can't let you have all the fun. Hey, nice new sword. That looks awesome.
Thanks, it's still pretty new.
You go on ahead, Zozo, my friend. I'll take these dusty old clowns. Go give that jackal jerk what for.
The Wolfman rushed in and led the desert mummies away as I ran in to confront Anubis. On day 100, I finally came face to face with Anubis at the center of his pyramid.
You accursed reptile! You really think you can put a stop to my plans? I am Anubis, god of the underworld, and soon the ruler of the overworld too. You are nothing, just a little lizard with no hope of defeating me.
You talk a big game, but you've been scared of me from the start. You tried to stop me from getting stronger at every turn. That tells me that my poison really can stop you.
Not if I destroy you first.
The final battle was at hand. Anubis came in quick with fast, powerful attacks, so I had to take up my sword to defend against him. He was ferocious. Part of me wondered if I could really beat him. My netherite sword was just enough to deflect his blows, but I couldn't get a good swipe in on him. He was just too quick. But I knew I had to stop Anubis once and for all. I leaped high into the air with my jump boost and launched the strongest poison attack I'd ever made. It blasted Anubis right in the face, and the poison started to immediately take effect. It chipped away at his health more and more, enough for me to jump back towards him and land a final blow with my netherite sword. I've done it! I survived 100 days and defeated Anubis once and for all! The overworld was saved from this jackal-headed jerk. I had fulfilled my destiny, and most importantly, protected all of my friends too. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby ghost. Ooh, spooky. Not as spooky as knowing I only have 4 hearts. Oh man, wait, I'm a ghost. Why do I even have hearts? Whatever. But where are all the other ghosts? No ghost mom or ghost dad around? Since no one was around, I started checking out my new powers as a ghost. I could levitate really high and go through blocks. Wow, I passed right through that. I decided that if I was to get on in the world, I'm gonna need to find some ghost friends. The only problem was, I didn't know where any of them were. Going a bit further, I found a graveyard where a gravedigger was digging. Excuse me, have you seen any ghosts around here? Just as I said that, he ran away screaming. Gee, what was that all about? I'm just a ghost. Pretty soon, the gravedigger returned with other villagers wielding torches and pitchforks. Uh-oh, time to go! The villagers chased me deeper into the forest, where I managed to stay hidden for the rest of the night. On day 2, I started journeying through the forest. This is gonna be hard without any gear. I gotta start crafting. I chopped down some wood and found a small cave system. In one of the small caves, I gathered up stone materials that I ended up crafting into an axe, a pickaxe, and a sword. I still haven't found any ghosts yet, but I'm sure they'll show up pretty soon. As I was gathering out materials, I could hear a raven, and I ran out only to see it stuck in what looked like a cage. Oh no, don't worry, little raven, I'll help you. After I set her free, I asked her if she had seen any ghosts around. The raven said she had not seen ghosts in the area for a while, but mentioned there was an abandoned castle not far from here that might have a few ghosts. Perfect, a ghost in a haunted castle. How original. She also told me how thankful she was that I had saved her and hoped to repay the favor one day. Just after we parted, the villagers started attacking again. Ah, not these guys! The raven already flew off, but luckily for me, this time I had weapons. Ha! Take that! After the villagers were gone, I went deeper into the forest and continued to gather materials before going to find the castle. On day 3, I finally managed to find the castle the raven had told me about. What a score! Maybe there are some ghosts in here. I checked through all the corridors and halls to see if I could find anyone. Hello? Is anyone haunting here? Checking behind one of the old walls, I found a suit of armor, an iron sword, and some iron ingots. All right, now I can really do a ghost battle. I felt a surge of energy, and my hearts were doubled. All right. Just then, a horde of bats flew in and started swarming me. Hey, back off! I just got this armor. It was a good thing too, because I was able to fight most of them off, and the rest flew off into the night. Even though I didn't find any ghosts, I decided to make the castle my base. I got to work cleaning up the cobwebs and furnituring up the place. When I was done making the place more lively, I went down a secret passageway I noticed that led downward. Maybe there are some ghosts down there. It would be fitting. On days 4 to 5, I journeyed into the passageway to find a hidden dungeon. Aw, cool, I have a dungeon. Then I heard screaming coming from one of the halls. I followed it to find a ghost being picked upon by witches. Hey, that's not nice. You leave that ghost alone. I attacked them and made swift work of them. That's right, and stay out. I went back to check on the ghost I saved and made sure he was okay.
Thank you for that. If you had not come, those witches would have surely taken me to the end.
No problem. Why did those witches want to take you anyways?
They are the servants of the Grim Reaper, the ruler of the end, who enslaves ghosts and spirits.
How terrible. Well, we're safe now. What's your name?
Oh, sorry. Where are my manners? My name is Gordon, and I am an organist.
An organist? Wow, that's fascinating.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I lost all my organs a while back.
Oh, really? How far back?
As long as I've been a ghost.
Clever.
Thank you.
On days 6 to 8, Gordon and I got to work building back up the exterior of the castle. I made us some stronger pickaxes, and we quickly got to work gathering stone for the castle. Man, if we work any harder, we could work ourselves to death.
Zozo, we're already dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. We could hear a howl in the distance. Stay here, Gordon. I'll be back. I ran after the sound of the howl to see it was the villagers running after a wolf. Poor little guy, I gotta do something. Quickly, I got into action and started to attack the villagers. Pick on someone your own size, or species, or being, whatever, go away! My attack did the trick, and soon they were disposed of. I turned back to check on the wolf, only to see a person standing there. Wait a moment, where's the wolf?
I am the wolf. Sort of. I'm a werewolf. My name is Kane. I turn into a wolf on occasions.
Should I be worried about that?
It's not like what you would think. It only happens when I get very emotional. I am normally very calm.
Well, if you'd like, you can stay with me at my castle.
I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you. Wait, you have a castle?
Yeah, I am a ghost after all. On days 9 through 10, Gordon, Kane, and I made our way back and started working on the castle, furnituring up the upper floor. This looks great, guys. Good job.
Yes, the extra set of hands has really been helpful, even if he has fleas.
I heard that, music lover.
Just as we finished, we were attacked by goblins. Sure enough, they started pelting us with orange pumpkin bombs using their trebuchets, damaging everything we have been working at. Why are you doing this to us? We just want to live in peace.
A message from the Grim Reaper. No ghost or spirit is safe. Not even one with high castles.
We could see a goblin begin to load up more powerful jack-o'-lantern bombs, so we ran downstairs to cover before they caused even more damage. We then ran out to assess the damage after some time had passed. The pumpkin bombs destroyed our castle. You're gonna pay for this, Grim Reaper. On days 11 through 12, Gordon, Kane, and I looked over what was left of our castle.
They have destroyed everything, all that we have worked for.
I know how you feel, Gordon. However, maybe we can remake the castle, fully our own. Gordon and I left the ruins to gather more materials, while Kane cleared up what was left of the old castle. After gathering some materials, we decided to rebuild. We even added new defenses, so we wouldn't have to worry about being bombarded again.
Zozo, you're a genius. I still think we're going to need extra help.
Oh yeah? Who do you have in mind?
He's an old friend of mine. He has great power among our kind. Maybe he can help us.
Great. Where does he live?
Go deep within the forest. There you will find trees covered with symbols. Find the symbol that looks like a jack-o'-lantern and open it up.
Okay, seems simple enough.
I'll go with you.
I don't know, Kane. You can as easily be hurt.
How else might I prove my loyalty to you if I cannot be by your side?
Okay, Kane, you can come with me. On days 13 to 15, Kane and I were off to find the trees Gordon had talked about. After a good deal of walking, we finally spotted an area that looked interesting.
Oh, this one's shaped like a turkey. Let's go to this one.
Kane, remember, Gordon said the one shaped like a jack-o'-lantern. We soon found the tree and opened the door inside of it. I felt a gust of wind when suddenly the floor opened up and we began falling. Soon enough, we landed in what appeared to be a pumpkin patch. Well, this is weird.
Zozo, over here.
I followed Kane to what appeared to be an old mine, but no people were around. I wonder where everyone went.
No idea. Maybe we should gather some materials while we're here.
That's a good idea. Right away, we started gathering more materials, including coal and even a couple diamonds. Wow, this is great. I wonder why they just left this behind. Then out of nowhere, a horde of zombies showed up and started attacking us. Oh, I think I know where the miners went. We fought off most of them, but one of them appeared to surrender.
Stop! I don't want to fight. If you'd like, I can take you to our leader.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? Lead the way. On day 16 to 19, the zombie, whose name was Reggie, led us around his homeworld.
This is the Pumpkin Kingdom, a safe haven for all things spooky.
I can see that. This place is awesome.
I will take you to meet the king. You can discuss with him the matter of the Grim Reaper.
Great. Thank you, Reggie. Reggie led us to the palace where the Pumpkin King was seated on his throne. He was a tall, pumpkin-looking figure with big black eyes and long, bony hands.
Welcome, our new guests.
Thank you for having us, Your Majesty. We have come to seek your help to defeat the Grim Reaper. The king shuddered at the mention of the Grim Reaper.
Defeat that evil which tortures good spirits and enslaves souls? How I wish I could, but alas, no one can defeat that.
Surely there must be something we can do. No one should have to fear this foe. Pumpkin King got up from his throne and walked towards us.
I have heard of a certain item that was forged long ago. The trident, made out of an unknown material that can destroy any creature, even the Grim Reaper.
Great. Well, where is it?
It has since been split apart, with the pieces in different locations. The Valley of Snakes, the Cave of Darkness, and the Clown Carnival.
Well, that last one doesn't sound too scary.
Would you be willing to go on a quest to retrieve the pieces of the trident and fight the Grim Reaper?
Me? What can I do? I'm just a ghost.
Just a ghost? My dear Zozo, there is more to you than you might think. I can tell. I'm the Pumpkin King.
I'm sorry, Pumpkin King, but you got the wrong ghost for this job.
In time, I am sure you will understand.
On days 20 to 22, Kane and I left the Pumpkin Kingdom and ended up walking through a cemetery, stopping in the middle of it to catch our breath.
Zozo, why didn't you agree to find the missing pieces of the trident?
I don't know, Kane. I guess I just don't feel strong enough.
I know you can do it, Zozo. Pumpkin King is right. It will take time, but you will know.
Just then, we heard screaming coming from a distance and ran over to see what it was. Much to my surprise, it was another gravedigger. I guess cemeteries have those. He was surrounded by giant vultures. Oh man, I might as well try to save him from becoming buzzard food. Kane and I charged the vultures and attacked them with all of our might. Get away! Get out of here! Soon enough, the vultures were gone, and the gravedigger stood in shock.
Thank you, Mr. Ghost Thing, sir.
You're welcome, and next time you see a ghost, or even a werewolf, remember, they aren't all bad.
Yes, sir. I will definitely remember that. I'll let the others know as well.
The gravedigger ran off to tell the nearby village what had just happened. Suddenly, I started feeling weird, like a boost of energy, and I transformed into an epic level phantom. Whoa, I have 15 hearts now.
Whoa, Zozo, not to be rude, but you look kind of weird.
I feel kind of weird, but at the same time, I feel I need to sing.
Sing? Sing about what?
About how I must defeat the Grim Reaper.
That's the spirit.
No, now I'm a phantom.
Oh, you know what I meant. Let's get on with this and head back to the castle.
Agreed. On days 23 to 26, Kane and I returned to the castle, only to see it attacked by a coven of witches. Jeez, these folks do not let up.
We have to help Gordon, Zozo.
You're right. Quickly, we sprang into action, knocking out several witches with every stroke of our weapons. Take that, and another blow for you. Pretty soon, all the witches were defeated, and we went to check on Gordon.
Oh, thank goodness you two have finally gotten back. It's been a witchapalooza over here.
Gordon, are you all right? Has anything been damaged more?
Not really. It has just been obnoxious. On the brighter side, I found one of my organs. Now, just to find the right place to put it.
Well, while you do that, I'm gonna start working on something. Realizing that the witches, goblins, and other bad creatures could come back, I started the process of building a statue that could be seen as a sign of goodness and security. Can you tell what it is already? After I was done building the first part of the statue, I noticed a message in the sky. Subscribe? Weird message, but definitely one to listen to. On days 27 to 31, I journeyed to the Valley of Snakes to find one of the pieces of the trident. Well, this place looks eerie. As I journeyed deeper into the valley, I began to hear noises of movement around the walls. Alright, I definitely need to be careful, but I have to know what's inside of this wall. What if it's what I'm looking for? I broke through the wall and fell down into a pit that had a giant pit viper in it. He charged towards me with his rapid speed, snapping his jaws and delivering some blows. Youch! I looked down and realized I had been bitten and poisoned by the pit viper. I managed to hide from him for a short while I healed. After healing for a bit, I decided I was strong enough to face it once more, so I charged into battle. I landed some attacks, but so did the viper. He poisoned me again, so I tried to hide, but it seemed like the viper had enough. He lied down and pleaded with me to leave him alone after I re-emerged from the tunnels. Where is the piece of the trident I need?
All right, I'll give it to you. Just stop hitting me.
I did what the pit asked, and he proceeded to give me the missing piece. On days 32 to 35, I traveled to the village the Gravedigger mentioned, where I saw the Grim Reaper and some goblins in the nearby cemetery. Oh no, I can't fight him now. I only just got the first piece of the trident. Luckily for me though, the Grim Reaper wasn't interested in attacking me. Unluckily for the village, he was interested in attacking them. I could see a group of goblins launching explosives into the village. No, don't! The people! Quickly, I sprang into action, helping where I could to put out any fires the goblins set off with their explosions.
Thank you for your help, Zozo. Unfortunately, those goblins did a lot of damage to the village, and now we have no place to live.
Tell you what, when you folks finish your repairs, you can all come and live with me in my castle.
Wow, really? Do you mean it?
Of course. It gets kind of lonely there with only a ghost organist and a werewolf.
All right. Wait, where what now?
On days 36 to 39, I returned with the villagers to the castle.
I always wanted to live in a castle. Maybe under different circumstances, but still, here we are.
Glad I could make it all come true for you.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, I hear you are looking for the lost pieces of a trident. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I found one piece of it in the Valley of Snakes after answering a riddle.
Oh, really? What was the answer?
Ooh.
Ah!
That's funny. The pit viper had the same response.
Where will you go next to find the missing pieces?
Well, according to the Pumpkin King, the other locations are a cave and a carnival.
Wait, the Clown Carnival?
Yeah, have you heard of it?
That place is terrifying. Filled with broken down rides and creepy characters who lurk in the shadows.
Yeesh, not what I was expecting.
It's located right next to an old harbor, where it's said that a creature lives and hunts unsuspecting visitors.
Oh, well that isn't comforting.
Take this for your journey. It may come in handy.
The gravedigger handed to me what appeared to be a red nose? Okay, I'm sure this will make sense in the future, but right now, I'm lost. On days 40 to 43, I was on my way through the forest when what appeared to be a group of gnats? Oh great, I can't even see these guys. I started waving my sword all over the place, hitting whatever I could until I almost ran out of health. What am I gonna do now? Suddenly, I heard the sound of flapping, and streaks of black flew in front of me. The next thing I knew, the gnats were gone. Well, that was handy. Thank you, whoever that was.
You're welcome.
The voice came out of nowhere, but sounded so familiar. Wait a moment, is that... It was the raven I saved from earlier.
I thought I could repay the kindness you showed me earlier.
Well, thank you for that. I just wish I hadn't lost my sword in the process.
I may have something to help you with that.
Just then, the raven revealed to me a beautiful diamond sword, fit to take on any foe.
As a tribute of my loyalty and friendship, I give this to you.
I shall treasure it always. Thank you, and feel free to stop by the castle whenever you'd like. On days 44 to 49, I made it to the carnival, and I have to say, it was really creepy. Man, there really are clowns all over this place. I feel like I'm being watched. While looking through the old rides and attractions, I could hear the sound of running coming from behind me. I turned around to see it was a boy.
Watch out! The clowns are going to get us!
Clowns? Oh no! Suddenly, the clown stopped watching and started attacking. Oh, come on guys, stop clowning around! The clowns were intense, swinging at us, getting a few shots in. Hey, I thought clowns were supposed to be fun. Despite their efforts to overcome, this new sword proved to be really effective, and the clowns were defeated. Once that was finally over, I went to go check on the boy. Hey, are you okay?
Yes, thank you for saving me.
Of course, I would be scared too if a posse of clowns were chasing me. What are you doing out here anyways?
I was tricked into thinking this was a fun carnival, only to find it to be a nightmare.
You're telling me.
Yeah, why are you here?
I'm looking for a missing piece of an ancient weapon. Supposedly it is around here somewhere.
You may want to check closer to the harbor, but be careful. Unless you are a clown, I hear you could be hurt.
A clown, huh? Then I remembered that I still had that red nose on me. Quickly put it on. Well, how do I look?
I'm not going to answer that.
Probably for the best. On days 50 to 53, I started checking out the harbor, seeing if I could find the trident piece. Couldn't find a lot, but I did manage to find some bread and cod. That hit the spot. Just as I was continuing to look around, I saw the pit viper from the valley.
You think you can scare me away again? Well, not this time. I'll make sure you won't get that next piece of the trident.
He slithered toward me, snapping his jaws and showing his venomous fangs. Back, bad snake! Don't make me defeat you again! The pit viper would hear none of it and continued trying to attack me. Little did he know my new sword was super powerful, and with some mighty blows, he was defeated for good. See you never, Slither Boy. After the battle, I decided to go and heal up near the water. As soon as I started eating, the whole harbor began to shake, and a giant sea monster appeared up from the water.
Who dares to come into my domain? They will be ripped to...
Oh, it's just another clown. What's up, my giggly friend?
I was wondering if you by chance had the piece of the trident.
Oh, that thing? Sure. Heck, it's been taking up room down here for a while. Keep it if you like.
Gee, thanks.
No problemo. Sea monster out.
Just like that, he went back into the ocean. I, meanwhile, was standing there trying to comprehend what had just happened. Well, that was easy. On days 54 to 57, I brought the boy, whose name was Jamie, back to the castle. Right away, I got to work, decorating a room in the castle for him. After I was done, Kane ran in looking for me.
Zozo, I'm glad I found you. I need your help. Quickly.
What's the issue, Kane?
My werewolf friends have been captured by a group of vampires.
Vampires? Really?
Our most deadly enemy. I need your help to free them. Please, will you help me?
Of course. You lead the way. Kane and I dashed off into the forest. Soon, we saw a spooky-looking structure in front of us. This must be the place. Kane transformed into his wolf form, and we went inside. We explored it room by room until we reached the top, where I could see the werewolves caged up and surrounded by a bunch of vampires. Okay, we need to think of a plan to fight them. If we can just...
Let's go!
No, wait! Kane! Kane charged towards the vampires, and I was following quickly behind. We fought hard against the vampires, but they seemed near invincible. Man, these guys are hard to beat.
You're telling me it's like they don't have any weaknesses.
Wait, that's it! Weaknesses! Quick, follow me. Both Kane and I ran outside as the vampires chased after us. The vampires were so busy fighting us, they didn't realize they were walking into a trap. The moment they stepped into the sunlight, the vampires simply vanished into dust.
Look, I think one of them dropped something.
I picked it up, and it was a vial of green liquid. Vampire serum. Use on an enemy to control them to your will. I'll definitely be using this in the future. On days 58 to 62, I continued to work on the statue. Can you tell what it is yet? Just as I was admiring the statue, I heard a large explosion coming from the castle. Oh no, what is happening now? I turned around and saw that the castle was under attack. Witches, goblins, and vultures, oh my! Quickly, I sprang into battle, chopping at any witch or goblin I saw. Take that, and some of that. Ooh, and you get some too! My friends joined me outside, and suddenly a black cloud appeared, revealing the Grim Reaper. He produced a massive sickle, and with an extremely powerful blow, took down all the villagers and werewolves.
Come to me.
All of a sudden, the spirits of the fallen rose up from their bodies and entered into the cloud with the Grim Reaper.
We will return.
Just like that, the Grim Reaper vanished. Suddenly, I could see Gordon rushing up to me.
Zozo, you must come quick. It's Kane. He has been badly injured.
Gordon led me over to where Kane was, and I could tell he was not all right. Kane, speak to me. It's gonna be all right.
Oh, Zozo,
I am so sorry.
You have nothing to be sorry about. You fought bravely. That's all anyone could ever ask.
I just hoped that I was truly loyal and a good friend.
You were the best, buddy. The most loyal and true friend any ghost could ever ask for. Cain appeared to smile. He then closed his eyes and was no more. On days 63 to 66, we buried the fallen from the previous battle. Goodbye, Cain. Thank you for believing in me. While we were all in a time of mourning, I was surprised to see the Pumpkin King come and call me over to him. It is good to see you, Pumpkin King. I just wish it were for different circumstances.
So do I, Zozo. However, I do come bearing some good news.
Oh, really? What may that be?
My researchers have found the location of the Cave of Darkness, and we have also found this key, which is said to unlock the final piece of the trident.
The Pumpkin King told me the directions to the cave and gave me the key to take with me.
Stay strong, Zozo. It is said that the cave is guarded by cave trolls, who are known to be strong in their attacks.
I will be. Thank you for this useful knowledge. Unfortunately, just as we thought things couldn't be going worse, another swarm of bats tried to attack us. Really? This is not a good time. Just as the bats were attacking, the Pumpkin King screamed an awful scream that ultimately shook them up and made them faint. Whoa, how did you do that?
Well, you don't think I'm called the Pumpkin King without having a few tricks up my sleeve.
That's fair. Can you teach me that?
Huh, maybe someday. Right now, you've got a journey ahead of you.
Right. Thanks again. On days 67 to 70, I finally made it to the location of the Cave of Darkness. There appeared to be guards posted near the entrance in the cave, but these weren't just any guards. Trolls! Mountain trolls! They're even bigger than cave trolls! I quickly began thinking about how I could either distract or defeat those guys. Then I noticed the gravel hanging over the top of the cave ceiling. After noticing that they aren't going to move, I pondered my options and decided to mine out the ceiling and make the gravel fall. Incoming! The gravel came crashing down, crushing the trolls upon impact. Well, that was pretty easy. Just then, I heard footsteps and a larger troll came running over. He looked like the leader and must have heard the noise. With no other alternative, and now in plain sight, I decided I had to fight him. This is gonna hurt. Indeed it did. His blows were so powerful that I was losing hearts left and right. It's a good thing I'm fast. Just as I feared he was about to deliver the final blow, I thought about Cain and how much he had sacrificed. I couldn't lose now, not this time. I built up my courage and was able to fight back even harder than before. Soon, I had won. Then I was off to explore the Cave of Darkness. On days 71 to 74, I delved into the Cave of Darkness, looking for the last piece of the trident. Man, this place is dark. Oh wait, the Cave of Darkness. Yeah, that really makes sense now. Continuing on, I could see a big door with a lock on it, guarded by a cave troll. I got to get past him somehow. I pondered the situation, then I thought of something. I hid behind a rock and shouted out loud, "Pie! Free pie! Everybody, free pie!" The troll looked around, then took off running, right past me. Well, everybody knows you can't resist free pie. I ran over to the door and went to the lock. The key fit perfectly, and with a turn of the key, I opened the door. Finally, what I needed all along. As soon as I opened it, I saw the piece was gone. What? How is that possible? Right where the piece was, there was a note. I took it and read the following message.
Looks like you're too late. Did you really think you could beat me?
The Grim Reaper must have beaten me to it. I had to find him, and quickly. On days 75 to 78, I returned back to the castle, where I could see everyone had built some stables and a farm next to the castle. This is great! Hopefully nothing will stop us now. I could see Gordon playing music on the piano.
I know it's not much, but music can truly make a difference.
I'll take your word for it. I'm just glad everyone is working together.
Oh, by the way, the Pumpkin King was here before you returned. He wanted me to give this to you.
I opened up the Pumpkin King's gift, and it was a whole new suit of armor. It even came with a new ability, Ghost Whale. This is awesome! I was definitely going to be using this for the future.
Oh, that reminds me. What did you find in the cave?
Well, before I could even talk, a thunderous sound came from outside the castle. It was the troll, and he looked angry.
There was no free pie! You owe me a pie!
Oh boy, I knew this would come back to haunt me. Right away, I jumped down from the castle to reason with him, but he wasn't having any of it. He started to attack me with all of his might, and I was really starting to think that this was the end. Just then, I remembered I still had the vampire serum. I equipped it so that with the next blow I made, it would be under my control. I laid a hit on him, and he stopped trying to fight me. Ha! Alright then. Tell me, where has the Grim Reaper hidden the last piece of the trident?
It's located at the old farm, guarded by the maniac.
The maniac? Who's he?
Oh, he's just this tall, masked creature who hunts people with chainsaws.
Oh boy, when will these adventures ever get easy? On day 79 to 84, I made it to the old farm to look for the last piece of the trident. Hello? Any maniacs here with a chainsaw I should know about? While checking the area and making sure there weren't any maniacs around, I could hear the sound of someone asking for help, coming from the farmhouse. I looked inside and saw it was Iron Man. Iron Man? Why would you need my help?
Wait, do you think I'm the real Iron Man? I knew this suit was convincing. This is just my Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Wait, I don't see any kids around. Are you an adult that still goes trick-or-treating?
Yeah, so I'm an adult who likes to get free candy. Big deal. But look, did you see that mask over there? The one by the mailbox?
Yeah?
If you could hand that over to me, I would really appreciate it.
Why don't you just go get it yourself?
Are you crazy? There's a maniac out there. I figured if I could get my mask, maybe he wouldn't attack me because he thought I was the real Iron Man.
Well, that's not the worst plan, I guess. You tricked me. Hang on a second. I ran over to the mailbox and quickly picked up the mask. I returned to the door to give the man the mask. Okay, before you go, I need to ask a couple questions.
All right, mask first, please.
Fine. I'm looking for a missing piece of an ancient weapon I need. Have you seen anything like that? Just then, I heard what could only be called dark laughing coming from outside. Sounds like it's time for you to go. The trick-or-treater jumped up and ran out the back door. I ran back outside and saw the Grim Reaper hovering above the barn.
Foolish ghost, did you really think it would be that easy?
Easy? No part of this was really easy. Where's that missing piece, Reaper?
Oh, do you mean this?
The Grim Reaper revealed the last piece. It was the one that had all the spears at the end.
I hope you have enjoyed your journey, little ghost. Now prepare to watch it crumble to pieces.
In his hand, the Grim Reaper destroyed the last piece of the trident, breaking it to pieces on the ground. No, you villain!
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Oh, and there's someone in here who is just crazy about meeting you. Good luck trying to fight off this maniac.
In an instant, the Grim Reaper was gone, and now I had a new enemy to face. The door of the house next to the barn broke to reveal the maniac I had heard so much about. He ran towards me, his chainsaw in hand. I thought quickly, then I remembered the Pumpkin King's gift of the ghost whale. As the maniac grew closer, I yelled as loud as I could, letting loose a great big force from my mouth, like a powerful wind. It knocked the maniac off his feet and took him out. I ran over to where he had come from and saw he had another chainsaw in a crate. I picked it up, along with the pieces of the trident the Grim Reaper had left behind. Maybe there's something I can still do with this. On days 85 to 89, I was heading through the forest when who should I see but Reggie, the zombie miner from the Pumpkin Kingdom. Reggie, it's good to see you, but what are you doing here?
I was sent by the Pumpkin King to tell you more information about the end. There is a portal that can transport you there.
Well, that's great, but what will I need?
You will need at least 12 Eyes of Ender. Only then can the portal truly work.
That's good, only there's one problem. I don't have any of those.
I was thinking that was going to be a problem, so I proceeded to take the liberty in giving you these.
You then tossed out 12 Eyes of Ender. Thank you, Reggie. This is extremely helpful.
What can I say? I'm a miner. I know how to find things.
Well, is there any way you can find a way to fix this? I proceeded to show Reggie the broken pieces of the trident head.
I will take these back to the Pumpkin King. Hopefully something can be done about them. Quickly.
Appreciate that immensely, Reggie. The quicker we act, the quicker we can defeat the Grim Reaper once and for all. On days 90 to 94, I started to get ready for my final journey. Gordon found some new iron ingots, which I forged to make new weapons and armor. I then gave all the new equipment to my friends.
Ah, cool. A gift of armor from a ghost. The things you never expect to say.
A little while later, while I was resting upstairs, I could see Jamie approaching me, looking very pleased with himself. Jamie, what happened?
I ended up going back to the carnival and harbor to see if I could gather any more materials and also face my fears.
I'm proud of you, Jamie. Well, what did you get? Jamie placed down a shulker box and I looked inside. It was full of netherite ingots. Jamie, how did you acquire all of this?
I went up to the sea monster, asked him if he had anything that was strong, and he gave me these.
All right, but how?
Simple. I just wore a red nose. All in all, the sea monster is a pretty chill dude, as long as you have the nose, of course.
With the netherite ingots, I quickly got to upgrading all my armor and weapons. If I'm going to the end, I'm gonna need all the help I can get. On days 95 to 97, I finally finished the statue. I'm sure you can tell what it is now. It's a jack-o'-lantern. Traditionally, they were used to ward off any evil spirits from invading one's home, which is exactly why I wanted to create it. After all the attacks by witches and goblins and things, sometimes it's good to defend oneself in a more classic way. I went to admire it in all of its glory. Hello, jack-o'-lantern.
Hello!
Ah, I didn't know you could talk.
You never asked!
That's fair. So, how's life?
Life is gourd! Life is gourd! Get it?
Yep, got it. Well, this has been fun. I should probably get going.
Leaving so soon? Don't you want my spooky blessing?
Just then, some particles appeared around me, and I gained 10 more hearts. Whoa, thanks! I'm feeling really gourd now. The pumpkin was silent for a moment.
Let me handle the gourd puns.
Sure, whatever you say. On day 98, I exited the castle and went to go look for the end portal frame. Suddenly, I could see what looked like a miner in a distance. Right away, I knew it was Reggie. Oh, great! Maybe he has the completed trident head. Quickly, I ran to greet him, hoping in my heart that he had what I needed. Reggie!
Zozo, I just got the chance to meet your jack-o'-lantern. Funny guy. The king will really get a kick out of him.
That's fine, but did you manage to get the trident head fixed?
That's why I wanted to meet you in person. It's almost done, but it will take a little longer.
We don't have much longer though. Tell the Pumpkin King to get that piece finished as quickly as possible, and then make sure you deliver it to me in the end as soon as you can.
All right, I will.
Reggie left, and it was time to go to the end. I started throwing out Eyes of Ender, which led me across the land. Eventually, the eye stopped, and I started to dig down, entering the stronghold. I found the portal and filled in the missing Eyes of Ender. Suddenly, the portal awoke. All right, Grim Reaper, here I come. On day 99, I finally managed to enter the end. Well, this is trippy. Gathering my surroundings, I could see what appeared to be a cage. Looking closer, I could see it was filled with several ghosts and spirits. No, my people! Quickly, I rushed over toward it, but was attacked by the skeletons that were guarding it. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. One by one, I fought and defeated each of the skeletons. Ha! Better luck next time, bone bags! Eventually, I got to the cage, but there was a big lock on the front of it. How am I gonna get these ghosts out of here? I could hear them pleading for me to break them out, talking about the lock. I know, I saw! Wait a minute, saw. Then I remembered I still had the Maniac's chainsaw from earlier. I don't know if this will work, but I have to try. I ran over to the lock and with the chainsaw, used it to try and cut the lock open. It was definitely taking a while for the lock to break and depleting the strength of the chainsaw. Man, this thing is strong! Fortunately, the chainsaw worked and the lock was broken. Go! Be free! The spirits flew out of the cage in a fury. I felt relieved when I saw that every single one had left the cage. Now, on to the big guy. On day 100, I continued fighting my way through the end. More goblins started to attack me, but using the ghost well, I quickly managed to defeat them. Let that be a lesson to you. No matter what creatures tried to fight me, I managed to press on to the final battle. Come on, Reaper, I don't fear you! Eventually, I appeared to have found what could only be called a massive structure that housed a throne room. The Grim Reaper sat on a throne, wielding a giant sickle.
So, have you come to die?
I have come to defeat you, once and for all.
Well, first, you'll have to find me.
With the snap of his bony fingers, the Grim Reaper was gone, and a swarm of zombies charged towards me. Back! Back! Go rot somewhere else! The zombies appeared to be no problem, but I still didn't know where the Grim Reaper went.
Having fun?
The Grim Reaper appeared again. Huh, I have not yet begun to fight.
This is pointless. You know you cannot defeat me. I destroyed your last chance.
Zozo! I turned around and saw Reggie standing behind me in the doorway. He threw something on the ground. It was the completed trident. I ran over and picked the trident up. Thanks, Reggie. Now get out of here. Reggie nodded and quickly ran off.
Oh, and what has your little friend brought you now?
You're doomed. I pointed the complete trident towards him. Just as I did, I could feel it power up, and I transformed into a supreme level spirit. The Grim Reaper shrieked at the sight of this, then lunged towards me with his sickle. The fight was momentous, with the Grim Reaper blinding me and using special attacks, and me blocking every harsh blow he tried. Little by little, I jabbed at him with the trident.
No one can defeat me!
Oh yeah? Well, I just did. With one final blow, I thrusted the trident into the chest of the Grim Reaper. He let out a wicked yell, and at last, he was defeated. With the battle won, I left the end and traveled back to my base. Back at the castle, everyone was there. They all cheered that the Grim Reaper had been defeated and that his minions could no longer torment us. The land was safe once more.
On day 1, I spawned into the mountains as a diamond skeleton. Whoa, even with 10 hearts, I've got to be the most valuable bag of bones in the overworld. I wonder what kind of powers I have. But I didn't have any time to think about any potentially cool powers. A big, strong earth elemental rose out of the ground right in front of me.
You are the skeleton that has defiled this land!
Wait, what? That's impossible. I just got here.
Your feeble excuses have no power here, you bony fiend! You should come with me before I'm forced to do anything drastic!
No offense, buddy, but I feel like you don't have my best intentions at heart, so I'm getting out of here immediately. And I made good on my promise, turning and running as fast as I could. There was only one problem. Diamond skeletons can't actually run very fast. Okay, so I know super speed isn't one of my powers. Pretty soon, the earth elemental had caught up to me, and I had to stop. I was feeling totally out of breath.
Wow, that was incredibly embarrassing, you sad little skelly. Come with me before you humiliate yourself even more.
Sure, okay, just give me a second to catch my breath. On day 2, the earth elemental ushered me back to a fortress high in the mountains, which looked like it'd be impossible to take over.
This is the Sanctum of Sanctity!
That'd be hard to say 3 times fast.
Silent skeleton! You will stand before our ruler tomorrow and be given a fair trial for your crimes.
What'll happen if I lose the trial?
Oh, that's simple. You'll be executed.
What? He didn't answer any more of my questions. Instead, he led me into the Sanctum of Sanctity and threw me into some kind of prison cell. Please, let me out! What about my human rights?
You're a skeleton! Skeletons don't have human rights!
And with that, he left and locked the door behind him. I was alone, or so I thought. There was actually a gold pig in the cell with me.
Oink oink. Hey there, bud. Name's Gary. Gary the Gold Pig. What are you in for?
Hey Gary, I'm Zozo. These guys trapped me in here for no reason. Have you been falsely imprisoned too?
Well, not exactly. I was stealing, but I wasn't hurting anyone while I was doing it.
That's better than nothing, I guess. These guys are huge jerks. We need to get out of here before we're tried and executed.
Easier said than done, my friend. These walls are impenetrable, especially when you don't have any tools.
Our conversation was interrupted when the earth elemental who'd trapped me in here came back, opened the door, and stepped inside.
Will you two be quiet? I can hardly think, let alone stand guard, while listening to your inane babbling. How about instead, you…
Without even thinking, I punched him, and that one punch completely destroyed him.
Wow, that was amazing, Zozo. You're like some kind of one-punch man.
I guess that's my first power, diamond hard punches. Let's get out of here before anyone else can find us. And that's exactly what we did. We escaped the Sanctum of Sanctity and ran off in different directions. On day 3, I continued walking through the mountains. It was an exhausting process. I may have had those powerful diamond punches, but I still had absolutely sucky walking speed. All this walking is making me hungry. I wonder if I can find any food around here. I searched until I found an apple tree, which I knocked down some apples with another powerful diamond punch. Phew, these punches really take it out of me too. I should probably only use them in emergencies, just to be safe. I picked up the wooden blocks and the apples, eating them to replenish my hunger bar. I then continued my journey. Wait, what's that rattling sound? It almost sounds like bones. That's when I turned and saw a huge imposing figure. It was a mutant skeleton, and he was even bigger than I'd imagined. Oh my gosh, you're huge!
It's nice of you to say, stranger. My name is Odokuro. It means rattling skull. What is your name?
My name is Zozo. It means, it means Zozo.
Interesting. It's rare to see a skeleton brave enough to wander around here. And I've never seen one quite as shiny as you either. You must be skilled and powerful.
Not as skilled and powerful as I'd like to be, sadly.
That, my dear Zozo, I can help with. Follow me back to my dojo.
Alrighty, Odokuro, lead the way. I followed Odokuro across the mountains, relieved to finally have a friend who could seemingly hold his own in a fight. From day 4 to day 5, we arrived at Odokuro's dojo out in the bone-dry Mojave Desert. What exactly does dojo mean, Odokuro? Is it like some kind of base?
It's where I teach people to fight. You see, I am the greatest warrior in all of the overworld, and it is my privilege to teach others to fight as well as me, so they can fight for what they believe in.
That sounds incredible, Odokuro!
Please, Zozo, call me sensei. It means teacher. And the first part of learning to fend for yourself is learning to put a roof over your head. Take this stone pickaxe and this stone sword. Make yourself a home in the desert. The harsh environment will make you hardy and strong.
Yes, sensei! My sensei Odokuro gave me the stone sword and pickaxe, and I went off on my own, traveling until I found a nice spot in the Mojave to build my base. I mined up some stone and some sand that I could use to start building myself a cool little base. It wasn't much yet, but it seemed like a cool way to begin my training. As I stopped building to look back and admire my work, another earth elemental snuck up on me and started to attack.
I knew you were an evil skeleton! You destroyed one of my fellow elementals! And now, I'll destroy you!
But I was ready to fight back. With my stone sword, I was able to beat the earth elemental, gaining enough XP in the process to level up and get stronger. I was bigger, a little faster, and now had 20 hearts instead of just 10. And what's this new power I feel coursing through my fists? Without even thinking, I turned and walked into a tree, blowing it up. Whoa, I guess my new wall demolition ability can knock down walls and apparently trees as well. That's awesome. Darn, I need to replant this tree now. From day 6 to day 8, I walked around the desert, looking for new things to punch and test out my awesome strength. If this is how strong I am at the start of Sensei Odokuro's training, imagine how awesome I'll be as he trains me even more. During my wandering, I happened upon a familiar face too. It was Gary, the light-fingered gold pig I'd met inside the Sanctum of Sanctity. Hey, Gary, how's it going?
Zozo, don't sneak up on me like that. I'm on edge enough as it is after what I've been through.
Oh no, what's wrong, Gary? Are you okay?
I was attacked by this crazy mutant Enderman. If I didn't run as fast as I could, he would have destroyed me. You've got to be careful, Zozo. There are some real dangerous people out there.
I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm training with Sensei Odokuro, so I can get strong enough to fight off bad guys like that.
Sensei Odokuro? Why does that name sound so familiar? Oh well, maybe I'll remember it later when I'm less stressed.
And with that, Gary went on his way. Unsettled by the knowledge of how many dangerous creatures are out there, I returned to my sensei's base, ready for his next lesson. Climbing up the hanging ladders, I found him at the top of the dojo in his living quarters.
You've done well against the Earth Elementals, Zozo, but to improve, you must face stronger opponents. There is a mutated bee out in the mangrove swamp, a formidable foe for someone of your strength. Go forth and destroy him, and see your powers grow.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed Sensei Odokuro's instructions and went out to the mangrove swamp, seeking to meet with and battle this mutated bee. He sounds like a tough customer, but I believe I'm ready to take him on. It didn't take me long to find him. His bright yellow and black stood out against the colors of the swamp.
Buzz off, kid. I don't want to fight anyone. I left my fighting days behind me long ago. I hurt too many people. That's not who I am anymore.
If you were a villain once, you're a villain now, mutated bee. Sensei Odokuro demands that I fight you.
Odokuro? I haven't heard that name in years. Well, kid, if you want to fight, I'll give you the fight of your life.
The mutated bee fought me, and he was every bit as tough as Sensei Odokuro had said. I did manage to defeat him in the end, but by then, I barely had any hearts left. I can't rush my training. If I do, I think I'm really gonna get hurt. On my way out of the swamp, I ran into none other than Gary the Gold Pig.
Oh hey, Zozo, you're not looking so hot, buddy. Maybe take this health potion. I stole it from some guy.
I drank the health potion Gary gave me and breathed a sigh of relief as my health replenished itself. Thanks, Gary, you're a lifesaver. Sensei Otakuro will be pleased to see that I'm doing okay.
There's that name again. Gosh, where did I hear it? Guess I'll let you know if it comes back to me.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the dojo of Sensei Otakuro, eager to tell him about how well I'd done in the battle with the mutated bee.
Your power grows, Zozo, but you still have much to learn. That being said, I see the potential for true strength in you, but a true warrior feels no fear. Go first into the darkness to make fear your ally. Then return to the mangrove swamp, find the lethal swamp pig clan, and destroy every last one of them.
Destroy a whole clan? Isn't that a little harsh, Sensei?
Never, ever question my teaching, Zozo. Perform the task. Your sensei wills it.
Feeling doubtful, but knowing that my sensei must know best, I found the darkest darkness I could find, a mining cave. I explored the dark, worrying about what could lurk behind every corner. However, while down there in the dark, I discovered something awesome, a dusty old chest containing a few pieces of iron armor, an iron sword, and an iron pickaxe. The sensei really is always right. I equipped the sword and the armor pieces, then left the cave. But just as I was about to exit, I was stopped in my tracks by another earth elemental.
You won't escape this time, you skeleton fiend!
I'm really getting tired of you guys. The fight didn't last long. With my new power and new iron sword, I defeated him in no time. From day 13 to day 15, following Sensei Otakuro's instructions, I went back to the mangrove swamp and searched through until I found a small settlement full of pigs. This must be the Swamp Pig Clan. They don't look like a gang of lethal warriors, they just look like peaceful little pigs. What's going on? I decided to investigate further, venturing into the settlement and approaching the largest of the swamp pigs. Excuse me, sir, but are you the head of the legendary Swamp Pig Warrior Clan? That just made him laugh.
Warrior Clan? We're a clan of peaceful farmers, living off the fat of the land. We don't know the first thing about fighting. I have no idea where you got that from.
Then no, this isn't right. I'm sorry for bothering you, Mr. Swamp Pig. Confused and worried, all I could do was leave the settlement as quickly as I could, making a beeline back to the Mojave Desert. Sensei Otakuro has some explaining to do. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to Sensei Otakuro's base and told him everything that had happened. He was furious with me.
You dare go against my orders after I explicitly told you not to question me?
But Sensei, they weren't warriors.
I am no longer your sensei. Be gone from the dojo, Zozo. I cannot teach someone who doesn't respect and honor my judgment.
I was devastated, but I had no choice but to leave. I guess that I just wasn't cut out to be an awesome warrior in the end. I might have just been doomed to be a sad, slow diamond skeleton forever. When I got back to my base, Gary was waiting for me.
Zozo! I remember where I heard that name before, Sensei Otakuro.
He's not even my sensei anymore, Gary. There's no point.
But it was the mutant Enderman. When he attacked me, he said, Sensei Otakuro will be so pleased. He must have been on his orders.
Wait, Otakuro has other students, and they're out there attacking people? Oh no, I need to go back to the mangrove swamp. I ran back to the Swamp Pig Clan settlement as quickly as I could, but it was already too late. Otakuro was there, and he'd already destroyed all of them. You monster!
It's better to be a monster than a weakling, Zozo. My best students understand this. You are but a naive little fool.
What? It's foolish to not want to attack innocents?
There are no innocents, Zozo. Only practice. I'll give you one chance to decide. Are you with me or against me?
I could never be with you or any of your horrible students. I pulled out my iron sword and ran towards him to attack, but he knocked me out cold in a single strike. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, dazed and aching, in the ruins of the Swamp Pig settlement. Otakuro hadn't left a single survivor. That monster! I feel so terrible for ever helping him. I can't believe all his students have been terrorizing the overworld, and I was almost one of them. As I was making my way through the swamps, I saw Gary the gold pig emerging from the distance and trotting towards me.
Zozo, thank goodness you're alive. I had no idea you were up against such terrifying enemies. The world is even scarier than I thought.
But it doesn't have to be, Gary. Come back to my base with me. I'll build you a room, and we'll start working on a battle plan to take down these evildoers once and for all.
You know what? You have a point, Zozo. I've spent my whole life stealing from people. Now, I want to do something right. Let's go, buddy.
I went back to my base in the Mojave Desert with Gary and built a new building for him to live in. It felt good to finally be allied with someone whose worst crime was stealing potions and not destroying whole clans of innocents for fun. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to investigate the mountain some more and see if I could track down any of Sensei Otokuro's other sadistic students. If they were out here destroying settlements in the overworld, then they needed to be stopped at once. While I was exploring, it didn't take me long to overhear a cry for help from a passing mushroom summoner.
Please, spare me, kind skeleton! There's a mutant zombie right behind me! Destroy it, I beseech you!
I don't know what a beseech is, but you'd better get behind me! Sure enough, there was a vile, brainless mutant zombie coming after the poor summoner. I leapt in to defend the innocent mushroom summoner with a swing of my sword, but the shuffling undead was far stronger than I'd ever expected. The mutant zombie was tough, and he got a few powerful hits on me. I swung back with my diamond skeleton punches, and while it took a few more than usual, I had soon knocked his health right down. You can come back out now.
Oh, thank you. Please help yourself to this. It's the latest of my horticultural findings. A fungus imbued with magical properties.
Thanks. I ate the mushroom and could suddenly feel myself getting stronger. I now had 50 whole hearts. I could shoot energy blasts from my hands. Wow, now this'll be fun, guy. From day 27 to day 31, I roamed the mountains some more. The encounter with the mutant zombie was playing on my mind. Where had that horrid undead creature come from? Was it connected to my nefarious former sensei in some way? I got distracted by a flock of sheep that looked like they'd lost their shepherd, or that perhaps something bad had happened to them. Hey there, little guys. It's not safe for you all to be up here on the mountainside. You'd better come back to my base where you'll be safe. If we come across your owner, I'm sure he'll be glad I got you guys to safety. So I headed back to my base and got to work settling up a pen for the sheep. Once I was done, Gary was excited to show me something.
Come check it out, Zozo. I built us a brand new storage room. Now we've got somewhere to keep all our loot. Old habits. All the equipment we can use to bring the fight to Sensei Otakuro.
Speaking of Otakuro, within his dojo in the Mojave Desert, my former teacher was conferring with one of his deadliest students.
Sensei, I have followed your teachings and laid waste to another settlement. Their souls are now forever cursed to have fallen at my hand. That will make them perfect candidates to join the ranks of your undead army. Good work, apprentice. You've been more loyal than that cowardly skeleton, and I have a new task for you. Bring me the diamond skull of Zozo!
From day 32 to day 35, I decided to backtrack to the fortress high in the mountains. I had realized that those earth elementals who had captured me might have only done so because they thought I was working for Sensei Otakuro. After all, one had called me evil when he saw I was carrying out Otakuro's commands, but I figured I would need allies. Me and my gold pig pal weren't going to be able to take him down alone.
Look over there! It's the diamond skeleton working with Otakuro! Get him!
Whoa, hold on guys, I'm not here to fight. It was too late. An earth elemental was coming straight towards me. We clashed swords. I had to hold off from using my diamond hard punches and energy blasts. I needed to convince them that I meant no harm. Listen to me, I'm not following Otakuro's teachings anymore. He's a barbaric, irredeemable monster.
What took you so long to realize?
Don't be mean, I was tricked.
Then you should talk with our boss.
The earth elementals brought me before their leader, a wise old illusioner.
You have renounced Otakuro's vile ways. Good. Then perhaps you'll be the one to put a stop to his reign of terror.
I'll take him down. He's hurting innocent people, and he's got to be stopped.
I must convene with my earth elementals. I can provide you with the means to stop Otakuro, but first, we must decide if you are trustworthy. Now go!
From day 36 to day 39, I didn't want to waste any time waiting on the illusionist's decision. I needed to get stronger in the meantime. I decided it was time to upgrade my armor, so I went searching the mines for the remaining pieces to complete the set. And boy oh boy, I didn't just find what I was looking for, but struck a motherload of diamonds too! It was almost like being a diamond skeleton, up to draw me to where they were hidden underground. I could sense them without even realizing it. After I had gathered up the diamonds, ready to craft some neat stuff with them later, Gary excitedly called me back to base.
Check it out, Zozo. Look what I stole. Acquired while you were gone.
It was a special gong of weakening. After striking it, it weakens all enemies around me for 7 seconds. But before I had a chance to try it out, an armored mountaineer approached my base.
You're Zozo, right? I'm a messenger. I've been sent by the Illusioner. He's ready to speak with you now and request your presence back at the Earth Elemental Fortress.
From day 40 to day 43, I made the long trek back to where I'd last met the Illusioner. But as I approached the fortress, I immediately noticed something was wrong.
The diamond skeleton was here. Tell me what you told him, or suffer in the name of Sensei Odokuro.
It was the mutant Enderman. It must have been one of Otokuro's other students. He was turning the place upside down, battling with the Earth Elementals as they desperately tried to defend the fortress against his attacks. But his training, he'd clearly been following Sensei Otokuro's brutal teachings, and they were no match for the mutant Enderman. I ran over to the Illusioner as quickly as I could. Illusioner, quick! We need to do something!
Zozo, no! Drawing you out is what Otokuro wants. My elementals will die before they give away your location. But we must flee before Otokuro's student realizes you're here.
From day 44 to day 49, I hurriedly escorted the Illusioner back to the safety of my base. He seemed upset about the attack on his fortress, but I didn't really know what to say to comfort him. Once we'd made it back, he sat me down to reveal his decision.
I have opted to trust you with this, Zozo. I believe your remorse for serving Otokuro to be genuine. I know all too well how deceptive he can be, which is why I will impart to you this knowledge. There is a way we can stop him, but it requires a weapon known only as the Destroyer, and to rebuild it will be no easy task. I can guide you through the first steps, but to complete it requires secrets I do not possess.
Well, where can I find the rest of the steps to build the Destroyer?
Patience. For now, here's how to get started.
I followed the Illusioner's instructions written on the blueprint to the letter, making sure I had done everything I could right now to make a start on the Destroyer. It was kinda nice having him help me along, almost like having a new sensei who wasn't as evil as Sensei Otokuro. Once I'd done all I could, that was when the Illusioner told me about an ancient book of secrets that contained instructions for finishing the Destroyer. It was lost somewhere in the mangrove swamp, so I began to make my way over there as fast as my slow skeleton legs would carry me. From day 50 to day 53, I searched high and low in the stinky mangrove swamp for anywhere that might be housing the Book of Secrets. I was expecting to find an old temple or an abandoned cave, but there was nothing of the sort anywhere around. Eventually, I had to change up my approach. I didn't know where to look, but one of the locals might. I struck up a conversation with the first person I met, a royal guard.
Book of Secrets? Sorry, geezer, no clue. Nobody's seen it in a dog's age. Been lost in the swamp.
Great, that's super helpful. I don't suppose anyone knows what's written in it or how to rebuild the Destroyer to stop Sensei Otokuro?
Otokuro? Blimey, mate, he's a tough customer. You know he once commanded an army of mutant undead?
He did? That's horrible.
Yeah, it was. Otokuro believed in being the strongest bloke around, and he trained himself up a nasty gang of blighters. He never wanted them to be tougher than he was, so he kept some stuff to himself. Then if any of his pupils ever croaked, he'd use necromancy to bring them back and make them fight for him as undead zombies. But eventually, he crossed the wrong fella. Some real brainbox who built a device that would destroy Otokuro. That's why it's called the Destroyer, see?
Wow, I never would have guessed that.
Well, Otokuro got wind of what was being made to defy him and tried to wreck him. But it blew up in his face and took out a lot of his undead army. Rumor has it, he's been trying to build his forces back up ever since.
I still had no clue where the Book of Secrets was hidden. I didn't know the mangrove swamp well enough to find it. And without the book, I couldn't complete the Destroyer just yet. So instead, I headed back to base. From day 54 to day 57, I was making my way back to my base, taking a longer detour through the mountains, just in case any more of Sensei Otokuro's students were causing trouble nearby. Little did I realize, one of them was much closer than I'd anticipated. Suddenly, the mutant Enderman burst out of the shadows and attacked me, wielding all the fury and fear of Otokuro's twisted teachings.
There you are, the one who ran away! At last, I shall defeat you and bring that diamond skull of yours to my sensei as a trophy!
I had no choice but to fight back, but I couldn't land even a single energy blast on the evil Enderman. He would just teleport out of the way, and each blast would miss. Then he started using his special abilities, like picking up blocks, throwing them at me, and cloning himself. I couldn't risk being captured and brought back to Sensei Otokuro, or worse. So, I had to dash. I luckily made my escape. Meanwhile, within his lair, Sensei Otokuro was summoning the latest addition to his undead army.
By my hand, I command these ancient bones to rise, return to the land of the living, and follow my teachings, mighty skeleton vanguard!
From day 58 to day 62, battered and exhausted, I was relieved to finally make it back to the safety of my base. After a brief nap to regain my strength, Gary, my gold pig pal, was eager to show off his latest, definitely not stolen, project.
Hey, Zozo! Check it out, a brand new furnace for us. Now we can really turn up the heat on old Okuro. Get it?
Yeah, I got it, Gary. Great job. The base was looking great now, but I was concerned after facing the mutant Enderman and barely making it away alive. We needed somewhere well defended, so I gathered up lots of sandstone to build a bunker out of it, although it was tricky because the sand kept falling on my head. I eventually gathered enough and started building the bunker. Speaking of defense, I thought it was about time I defended myself a little better too. My old iron armor had done the trick until now, but it was useless against Sensei Otokuro's stronger students. So I headed into the mines and let my diamond skeleton senses guide me to more diamonds. I had plenty in my inventory now, enough to craft a new diamond sword and a matching pickaxe, plus a full set of diamond armor. Since Otokuro was after my skull, I thought protecting it was my best option. And there is nothing more stylish than a diamond skeleton in full diamond armor. From day 63 to day 66, I spoke with the illusioner about how I hadn't been able to find the Book of Secrets.
Most troubling news. I think I shall have to accompany you. I may know where we can look.
So I followed his lead, and we ended up at the edge of an area I'd never seen before, the Nether Wastes. What the heck? I could have sworn this place wasn't here before.
It has always been here, but not all have the means to see. These wastes are shrouded by a complex illusion.
But you can lift it, right?
I can, but it will take time. Casting illusions is my specialty. Removing them is much harder, especially when they have been cast by another.
So we can't get there?
I will attempt to break the illusion, and then we should be able to access the Nether Wastes.
Well, okay. In the meantime, I guess I'll just wait.
Patience, Zozo. I will need you at my side to defend me while I break the illusion. Nether Wastes may not be the only thing being hidden.
From day 67 to day 70, the illusioner was hard at work, lifting the illusion that was stopping us from getting to the Nether Wastes. But something seemed to be bothering him while he was working.
Zozo, I think there is something wrong. I sense a foul presence afoot in the mountains. One of Otokuro's undead, but far more powerful than his zombies.
You stay here. I'll go and take care of whatever it is. I made my way towards the mountains, and it didn't take long for me to come across what the problem was. It was the Skeleton Vanguard. After losing my last tangle with one of Sensei Otokuro's minions, I wasn't feeling confident I could best this creature. But perhaps there was a way I could reason with it.
Old bones, old bones.
Say, I know you're a little confused right now. I guess that must happen when you're brought back from the dead. But the one who brought you back, he just wants to use you. Believe me, he did it to me too. But us skeletons need to stick together.
No bones, no bones.
The Skeleton Vanguard lunged at me, disoriented. I had to hold back my punches and energy blasts. There was still a chance I could convince him to abandon Otakuro. If only I could get him to hold still. Wait, maybe he will respond to the gong. I struck it as hard as I could, and the Skeleton Vanguard was stunned, and it gave me a chance to talk to him. Listen, I don't want to hurt you. Otokuro might have brought you back, but to him, you're just an undead soldier. I promise if you help me, we can take that monster down and set you free. Then your old bones can rest.
Old bones, old bones.
Slowly, the Skeleton Vanguard seemed to calm down. I had done it! He was now on our side! From day 71 to day 74, I was heading back to the base with the Skeleton Vanguard, only to see something terrible as I approached. The mutant Enderman had found my hideout and was ransacking it. I hadn't even been able to finish the defensive bunker, and now Otokuro's star student of slaughter was destroying huge portions of my home. I tried to use my Gong of Weakening to stop him, but instead, he attacked me and stole it.
Thanks for the gong, loser.
I retreated and hid in a part of the base that was still intact, and before long, the mutant Enderman seemed to get bored and leave. I was feeling awful, worried that I'd never be able to beat the mean mutant Enderman. If I couldn't stop one of his weaker students, then I had no chance of stopping Sensei Otakuro.
Zozo, buddy, you still in there? You can come out now.
Gary told me that he and the Skeleton Vanguard had been busy rebuilding the base while I'd been feeling sad. They had made an effort to refortify the place against any future attacks, and they'd done it to try and cheer me up. I had to admit, it made me feel a little better. But little did I know, Sensei Odokuro was almost finished working on his undead army.
I have almost amassed my forces once more, and once my prized pupil discovers the location of the Diamond Skeleton's hideout, soon we will march. My zombies and I will subjugate the overworld!
From day 75 to day 78, the Illusioner returned to the base. He approached me to talk about how clearing the illusion had gone.
Whoever cast that illusion over the nether waste was certainly remarkably powerful.
You think it could have been Odokuro?
No, he only seeks the power to destroy, not to conceal. Perhaps the original architect of the Destroyer was responsible. He might have cast the illusion to keep his book of secrets hidden.
Were you able to clear it?
Mostly, but you should be able to reach the nether waste and find the book.
First things first though, I want my Gong of Weakening back. I set off to hunt down the mutant Enderman. I wasn't going to let him get away with my stuff, and if I could take him down, then I could prove to myself that I was strong enough to stop Odokuro too. From day 79 to day 84, I spotted the mutant Enderman in the Mojave Desert and immediately launched an energy blast. With his back to me, he didn't see it coming and couldn't teleport out of the way. Caught off guard, I landed a hit, but it only angered him.
You won't make me look weak in front of my sensei!
He leapt at me, and we fought. Without my Gong of Weakening, it was hard to gain an advantage over the Enderman. Just when I thought I was about to land a strike with my sword, or a powerful diamond punch, he'd zip out of the way, and I'd miss. Suddenly, he threw blocks back at me and knocked me far back with a powerful attack. Then, a sudden surge of power overtook me. I got way bigger than before, and even had 100 hearts. Catching both myself and the mutant Enderman by surprise, I suddenly fired a new special laser attack. The beam struck him right in the center, and he couldn't get out of the way quick enough. With a few more hits to finish him off, Sensei Odokuro's right-hand Enderman was defeated! I grabbed my Gong of Weakening, glad to finally have it back, and the mutant Enderman had also dropped something, a special key. Better hang on to this, it might come in handy later. From day 85 to day 89, I made my triumphant way back to base. To my surprise, Gary had gone out of his way to finish up working on the defensive bunker.
Thought we could get the last of it done. Now we'll be safe if there's any more trouble.
Well, the mutant Enderman won't be coming back here anytime soon.
That's great news, Zozo.
Now that I had my Gong of Weakening back, I decided to also head back to the nether waste. Sure enough, the illusion blocking the area was now gone, and I searched for the Book of Secrets. Sure enough, there it was, waiting for me at an altar. But so were a horde of mutant creepers. Using my weapons, I was able to defeat the diabolical monsters, and then I was free to grab the Book of Secrets. Now I had the last thing I needed to complete the Destroyer and put a stop to Sensei Odokuro's schemes. From day 90 to day 94, using the Book of Secrets, I started making the reinforced handles and the warped fungus which gives the Iron Destroyer that extra power. When holding it in hand, I felt its power flowing through me. At long last, I'm strong enough to take on my old sensei and right the wrongs I helped him create. But on my way out of the nether waste, I saw my oldest enemy standing right in front of me. It was my former sensei, Odokuro.
Hello there, former student. It's been too long since we've seen one another, skull to skull.
That's because your other students have been trying to take my skull.
You shouldn't take such a thing personally, Zozo. There are bumps on the road for every journey of training. They're there to test our strength. I've seen the way you fight, how you've bested all my other students. You have impressed me, Zozo. Why not resume your teaching with me? You can reach levels of strength you've never even imagined.
I'll never be your student, ever again, and I don't need anything you could teach me. I'm powerful enough to beat you already.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Before I could move, Odokuro fired a plasma blast at me, and that blast paralyzed me. I was frozen in place, and while I was unable to move, Odokuro approached and stole the Destroyer from me.
Foolish decision, Zozo. I'll let you live this time, just so you can languish in your shame. But next time I see you, rest assured, I will destroy you completely.
And with that, he ran back into the depths of the nether. From day 95 to day 97, I was at first alone in the nether waste. I had to summon up all my willpower to overcome the paralyzing spell. As soon as I left the nether waste for the mountains. I needed to team up with the Illusioner and his elementals as quickly as I could. However, when I arrived, the fortress was in ruins, and the elementals were all gone. Without the destroyer out there, Otokuro felt comfortable unleashing his full power. There was no one who could stop him. The only survivor was the illusioner, and even he was on the edge of his demise.
Zozo, it's too late for me. Don't waste your time. Get the destroyer back, and finally surpass your old sensei for the good of the overworld.
The illusioner was gone. Feeling terrible, I set off towards my base. On day 98, I arrived back at my base, only to find it decimated, just like the fortress in the mountains. Only Gary the gold pig was still alive.
Zozo, that monster! He came here and destroyed everything. He even destroyed the skeleton vanguard. Maybe a thief, but that bony buddy stole my heart. We can't let him get away with this.
We can't stop him, Gary. He has the destroyer, and the destroyer is the only weapon that can destroy him. Hence the name.
Zozo, take it from the expert. You can get it back from him. You just need to go to his dojo and steal it.
Wow, you're right, Gary. All these different people I've learned from all this time, and I didn't even think to learn from you. On day 99, I arrived at my old sensei's dojo, but I couldn't exactly walk in. If I was going to steal that destroyer, I needed to use the element of surprise. I quietly searched around the dojo until on the second floor, I found a pedestal with a keyhole in the middle. Wait, my special key. This must be what it unlocks. I turned the key, and in the middle of the dojo, a secret floor dropped down into the basement, but it was locked. I snuck in. Otokuro had no idea I was in there. Now I just need to get the destroyer back. I turned and saw Otokuro standing right there, but with his back turned to me. This was my chance. I snuck up behind him, and using techniques I'd learned from Gary, I stole back the destroyer. Otokuro turned to me with shock.
Zozo, what have you done?
I've leveled the playing field, Sensei! On day 100, I was facing off against the Sensei, ready for the final battle.
You were always such a disappointment, Zozo. Your skills showed such great promise, but you could never follow orders. How can you expect to learn from me now?
There's nothing I want to learn from you. I'm no longer the student, Otokuro. Now, I'm the master. I knew that the longer I fought him, the more chance he'd have to turn the tables. He shot his plasma blasts, but they no longer had the same effect as before. I knew I needed to end this quickly, once and for all. I summoned all my power into one final strike with the destroyer. I ran towards him, putting every ounce of my power into the strike. Boom! Otokuro exploded into bones. The evil had finally been defeated, and the student truly had become the master. On day 1, I spawned into the Amaranth Fields as a golden gorilla. Now it looks like I'm a gorillionaire. Well, a baby gorillionaire anyway. But I bet with my hard work, I can get bigger, stronger, and even shinier. My golden gorilla voice was a little too loud though, because it attracted the attention of someone who wasn't so nice. A strange green man in a crown emerged.
Wee-hee-hee! 'Tis me, the great and glorious Goblin King! All will bow to my excellence!
Oh, hi, Goblin King. Your Highness, I'm Zozo, the golden gorilla.
No! This simply won't do! You're too shiny! Nobody should be shinier than my crown!
I can't help how shiny I am, Your Highness, and I promise that I didn't mean to offend you.
I don't care what you mean! I'm the Goblin King, and what I want, I get! And you're gonna be a lot less shiny once my fully sick boys have beaten you senseless and buried you beneath the earth!
Suddenly, some ogres emerged and started stomping towards me. All I could do was run for my life and get out of there, but I could still hear the Goblin King's shrill voice behind me.
You can run, but you can't hide! We'll never give up, Zozo! Never!
I kept running until I couldn't hear him anymore. Guess I'm gonna need to topple the Goblin King if I want to get any peace around here. On day 2, I started exploring more of the Amaranth Fields. It's pretty nice out here, but I guess looks can be deceiving if the Goblin King and his ogres are running around here, and I've only got 10 hearts. I'd better find something to eat, and fast! Luckily, I stumbled on an apple tree. I used all of my baby gorilla strength to shake the apples down from the tree and gobbled them up. That really hit the spot. I love apples.
Good choice for your last meal then. Get it? Because you're dead meat, shiny boy.
I turned around and saw the Goblin King's ogres charging toward me. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm ready for a fight, but I guess I don't have a choice. They attacked me, and I tried my best to fight back. But they were way too tough for me, and there were so many of them. It's only my second day. It can't already be over for me. No!
Hang on, little gorilla. I've got this.
A gobber jumped into the fray, fighting off the ogres long enough for me to get away from them.
Follow me. Let's get you out of here before more of these jokers show up. By the way, my name's Greg.
I'm Zozo. On day 3, I followed the friendly gobber to his campfire. Thank you for saving me.
Don't sweat it, kid. Any enemy of the Goblin King is a friend of mine.
He hates me just because I'm shiny and golden.
Don't take it personally. That attention hog can't stand it if anyone else is special. That's why so many of us are trying to overthrow him. Everyone deserves to shine, not just that so-called king. Here, I got someone you should meet.
The gobber introduced me to a goblo sitting near the fire. I told the goblo that I was the Goblin King's latest target.
Tough luck, Zozo. Sorry to hear that. But you're in the right place if you want to end the Goblin King's regime. We've been working on it for quite some time, and I get the feeling you'll be a great help. You'll need to get a lot stronger first, though. Think you can do that?
Yes, I do.
That's what I like to hear. First things first, you're gonna need a base. Get to work building one. I'll send Greg along to help you out.
Thank you so much.
Don't ever let them dull your shine, Zozo.
From day 4 to day 5, I got to work building a base. Before I can build anything, I'll need some wood and some tools. I gathered enough wood to craft a wooden pickaxe, then used that pickaxe to gather some stone. Now I can use this to make a full set of tools. I'd better hurry up so I can build my base before it gets dark. I crafted a set of stone tools, and then it was finally time to build my base. A room for me and a room for Greg. There, looks pretty good. It's small, but I'll have time to build more later. Greg, come check out our new home.
Sweet digs, kid. I like it. Great place to hang my hat for a little while.
But you're not wearing a hat.
Well, if I get a hat, I'll have a place to hang it. Hey, kid, look out behind you.
I turned around and was jumped by a garch. This time, though, I had a sword to defend myself. I fought back and managed to defeat the nasty creature. Hey, I did it! Oh, I feel kind of funny. Suddenly, I grew bigger, and I felt my heart's increase to 30. Awesome! I yelled with excitement, and a blast of fire came out of my mouth.
Careful with that fire breath, buddy. Don't burn the house down.
Sorry. From day 6 to day 8, I took my new set of tools, improved strength, and super cool fire breath, and went out exploring. I traveled to the jungle, where I spotted a poor, innocent little Kato being attacked by a Shadowneer. Hey, cut that out! The Shadowneer didn't listen, so I had to make him listen with a blast of fire breath. He got pretty angry about being burned, but I had my sword ready to go, and we battled it out. The Shadowneer was tough, but I was tougher, and I managed to win the fight. You're safe now, little Kato.
Thank you. I've never met a hero like you before, but I'm afraid I'm still not safe. I was trying to run away from a bigger, badder monster when that Shadowneer attacked me. See, my house was invaded by a Reaper. He kicked me out and said if I tried to come back, he'd kill me. Could you help me get my home back?
That's terrible. Of course I'll help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the little Kato to his house, and sure enough, there was a huge, scary-looking Reaper standing guard outside.
Hey, I told you to clear out of here. Maybe you didn't learn your lesson last time. Do I need to tell you again with more pain?
The only one who's gonna get hurt around here is you!
What? You're here to fight me? Ha! You're tiny, like a little gold statue of a gorilla. You don't scare me.
Well, maybe this will. I opened my mouth and shot a blast of fire breath at the Reaver, but he didn't even flinch.
Oh, thanks. I was getting kinda chilly. Now it's my turn.
Uh-oh. He launched himself at me, knocking me back. He was way too strong. I don't think I'm ready for this fight. I'm so sorry, little Kato. We've got to run. But I promise I'll come back and finish the job once I'm strong enough. I ran away as fast as I could, the little Kato right by my side. Until we get your house back, you can come stay at my base with me. From day 11 to day 12, I escorted the little Kato back to my base. I'll need to build another room, so he has somewhere to sleep. I got to work, and before long, I had added on a room for my new guest. Here you go. I hope you're comfortable here.
Thank you so much. I wanted to give you something in return for letting me stay here, but I didn't have anything with me. So I hope you don't mind, but I added something to your base. Come take a look.
He showed me a brand new storage hut.
I figured you could keep things in here. Weapons, I guess, or whatever you want.
It's great. Thank you. Now you get some rest. I've got more work to do.
Wait, before I do, are you the golden gorilla that the Goblin King is trying to get rid of?
I sure am.
Oh, I'm so sick of that Goblin King. He wasn't always in charge, you know. He came here a little while ago with an army of ogres and scared everyone into listening to him. No one even knows where he came from or if he's a real king at all.
No wonder he's so worried about being outshined. Thanks for the info, little Kato.
My name is Lyle, just by the way.
I'm Zozo. Nice to meet you. Lyle went off to take a nap, and I headed into a nearby cavern to do some mining. I gathered some iron ore, perfect for upgrading my gear. I used a furnace to smelt the ore into iron ingots and crafted an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. I still feel like the base is missing something. As I was brainstorming, I spotted a herd of sheep grazing nearby. Hey, sheep! Why don't you come live with me? I built them a sheep farm to live in and herded them inside. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. From day 13 to day 15, I was trying to come up with ideas on how to grow stronger. I decided to talk to Greg and get some advice. Hey Greg, I'm running out of time to get strong enough to defeat the Goblin King. What can I do?
Well, kid, when I want to get stronger, I get out of my comfort zone. Try going somewhere new, maybe fighting some new enemies. You'll never grow just staying in the same place all the time.
Great idea. I'll go back to the jungle. That was a pretty intense place. I traveled back to the jungle and started exploring the unfamiliar terrain. While I was walking, I spotted some familiar faces. The ogres! They were too strong for me before, but I think I'm ready to try again. Hey, remember me?
Hey, look! It's the Golden Gorilla! Let's get him, boys!
I opened my mouth and shot fire breath at them, engulfing them in flames.
Ouch! Where'd you learn to do that?
I didn't answer their question. I just drew my iron sword and attacked again. This time, they were the ones who weren't prepared. And one by one, I defeated them all. I did it! I did it! Hey, what's this? There was a health potion on the ground. They must have dropped this. Well, finders keepers. I drank the health potion, and right away, my hearts increased to 60. Woohoo! I was doing a victory dance when I accidentally shot a fireball. Hey, that's new. I'm on fire here. From day 16 to day 19, I followed Greg's advice and kept exploring. My journey took me all the way to the desert. It sure is hot out here. I wish I had a nice shady tree to sit under. Oh, and some coconuts. But instead of coconuts, I found a book. The Book of Information. Information about what? I guess I'll see. It says the Goblin King was once a lonely little goblin underling, the lowest of the low. One day, he had enough of being bossed around. He snuck up on the leader of his kingdom, destroyed him with a sneak attack, and stole his crown. Now, he lives in fear of being seen as the fraud that he is, and having someone take his place. Wow, I'd feel bad for him if he wasn't trying to kill me.
Get that gorilla!
I was suddenly ambushed by more of the Goblin King's ogres. But with my new fireball attack, they didn't stand a chance. I burnt them all to a crisp and vanquished them. Hey, I'm getting pretty good at this whole fighting thing. From day 20 to day 22, I traveled back home to my base. Time to go back into the mines and see if I can upgrade my gear some more. I entered the mine and quickly found some iron ore. After I smelted it into ingots, I was able to craft an iron chest plate. With my new attack, my new strength, and this armor, I think I can finally fight that Reaper. So I traveled back to Lyle's house, where that nasty Reaper was still stomping around like he owned the place.
Back for more. Can't get enough of the taste of defeat.
You can't just take people's houses. I'm going to show you what happens when you do. I hit him with a fireball, and this time it worked. It knocked him back. While he was recovering, I got my sword and rushed at the Reaper, swinging my blade as hard as I could. He attacked me, but I came back at him even harder. A couple of hits later, he was down.
Whee! Well, look at that! You're getting stronger, I see!
It was the Goblin King. He was watching me from behind a nearby tree.
I'll have to send stronger minions to get rid of you, it seems. No matter! I will! I always get what I want, you know!
Only because you sneak up on people. You'll never win in a fair fight.
Well, we'll have to see about that, won't we? I have grand plans for your demise, Zozo! Such grand plans! Whee!
And with that, he disappeared. From day 23 to day 26, I ran back to my base as fast as I could. My encounter with the Goblin King had shaken me up a little bit, but I was still excited to give Lyle the good news about his house. Lyle! Guess what? The Reaper is finally gone!
Really? That's amazing, but...
Oh no, what is it?
It's just, I've been having so much fun staying here with you guys. Do you think I could keep living here instead?
Sure, stay as long as you want. With that settled, I ventured back into the mines to look for some more iron ore. After I found enough, I smelted it into ingots and crafted a new iron helmet and a pair of shiny iron boots. While I was trying on my new armor, Lyle came to see me.
Hey, Zozo. As a thanks for everything, I built a perimeter wall around the base to help keep us safe. So nothing like the Reaper attack ever happens here.
I went outside and checked it out. That's amazing. I feel safer already. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back out to the desert to continue exploring in the harsh climate. I was kicking around the sand, getting lost in my thoughts, when I saw something. A silver lobo sat under a palm tree.
Hey, you're the gold guy who beat up all those ogres.
I sure am.
Well, that was super neat of you. If you're still in a heroic mood, I could use some help. Any chance you have a place I could stay for a while? The Goblin King doesn't like how silver I am, and I'm scared he'll send more ogres after me.
He's doing the same thing to me for being gold. I'd be happy to help. Follow me back to my base. You can stay there. The silver lobo and I headed back to my base, and when we got there, I'd take a second to shear my sheep and gather some wool. Hey, this gives me an idea. I decided to hang some decorative banners on my base just to spice up the place. These really class up the place.
Sweet banners, kid, but sorry to interrupt. Goblo needs our help.
Who?
Goblo the Goblo. You met him when I saved you. Now it's your turn to help me save him. Quick, let's go.
From day 32 to day 35, Greg and I traveled back to the Goblo's campfire to see what was going on. When we got there, a whole horde of ogres was making a mess of the place. Goblo was way outnumbered. Goblo, we're here to help.
Oh, how sweet. Baby Gorilla thinks he can save his friend. Well, you're too late, loser.
I shot a fireball at them, destroying them in one hit. But when Greg and I rushed over to check on Goblo, he was already halfway gone.
Thank you for coming, boys, but I'm afraid they were too much for me. I don't have a lot of time left, Zozo. You can finish what I couldn't. Defeat the rest of the ogres.
I will. And just like that, Goblo was gone. From day 36 to day 39, I didn't want to go home after losing Goblo. I needed to get my mind off of things. So instead, I traveled to the jungle to look for some bad guys to fight, or someone to help. I just need something useful to do.
Are you talking to me?
There was a Rouge Tomato suddenly staring at me. No, I was talking to myself.
Well, could you be talking to me? If you're trying to be useful, I need some help.
Sure, what's going on?
Well, I need help taking on a rattlesnake near here. He's really messing up the neighborhood, kicking everybody out. I need some muscle to get him to lay off.
You got it. It didn't take me long to find the rattlesnake. He was hissing and pacing back and forth, looking for trouble. Well, he found it, and trouble was me. I took him out with a few quick fireballs and a finishing move with my sword. Your rattlesnake problem is all taken care of.
Thanks, you're a swell guy. Not like that freak in the crown who came through here earlier.
The Goblin King?
Yeah, that's him. Said he's trying to recruit new goons to help him get rid of some gold monkey or something. Sounds like a bad scene. And seems like the kind of guy who doesn't ever fight his own fights, but still wants to act like a tough guy. If you're not a fighter, just admit it to yourself. That's what I did, and it worked out.
Yup, thanks for the info.
Yeah, forget about it.
From day 40 to day 43, I left the friendly, but kinda weird, Rouge Tomato behind and walked back to my base. When I got there, Greg was waiting for me, and he looked excited about something.
Hey, kid, I thought we could both use some cheering up. So I added some couches to the base for hanging out. And I was thinking, maybe we could invite some more friends to stay here with us.
Absolutely, the more the merrier.
Great, my other goblin friend should be here soon.
A little while later, Greg's friend arrived and settled in. Nice to meet ya. After a while, the silver lobo I helped out before came to find me.
You've already done so much for me, but could I ask for one more favor? I left my favorite book behind, and I can't go back and get it without being attacked by some really scary monsters. Could you go look for it for me?
I'll do my best to get your book back. We can put it on one of those shelves when I do. From day 44 to day 49, I trudged out to the desert to look for the Silver Lobo's book. I don't see any books, I just see a ton of sand. I don't like sand at all. It's so coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. As I was digging through the sand looking for the book, the Goblin King ran up from behind me.
Whee! Tremble in fear! It's me!
I'm not scared of you.
Oh, but you should be! You think I'll only stop with your demise? No, silly Zozo! I'm going to get rid of everything shiny in this land! Every living thing that is silver, gold, diamond, that glitters and shimmers brightly! My crown will be the only shiny thing left, and then no one will doubt my authority as king!
Or you could try being a kind and just ruler?
Are you kidding me? That sounds terrible! Sorry, Zozo, but I have to run! Bear with me!
What?
Sorry, I misspoke! I have a bear with me! Enjoy fighting my bear! Bye!
The Goblin King ran off, and a massive, hulking grizzly bear ran in! From day 50 to day 53, I faced off against the Goblin King's mighty grizzly bear. The grizzly bear charged at me. I fought back with a fireball and jumped out of the way before he could scratch me with his claws. But the bear was tough, and he came at me again. This is my hardest fight yet. It was difficult, and the bear was much bigger and stronger than me, but I was better at dodging. And I had fire powers that most bears don't have. And all of that helped me win in the end. Phew! That was a close one. I'm glad I made it. Ooh, sparkly. The grizzly bear dropped a diamond on the ground during the fight. I should take it with me. I bet I'll need it later. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search for the Silver Lobo's book. She said there were scary monsters involved, but I haven't seen anything but sand. And that bear, but that wasn't normal for this place, I'm pretty sure. Finally, I happened upon a specter. I don't think it's that scary, but I bet that's what she's talking about. Hey, did you take someone's book? The specter didn't answer me. It just started attacking. Well, I guess that's your answer. Fireball! I blasted the specter with a fireball, and I totally vaporized it. Sure enough, it dropped the book. What's this book about anyway? Seems like a lot of trouble for one little book. Oh, it says my diary on it. No wonder she wanted it back. I ran back to my base and delivered the book to the Silver Lobo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the nicest golden gorilla I've ever met. Not that I've met any others. There used to be more of you, I've heard, and other gold creatures. But the Goblin King has been getting rid of them ever since he took the throne. It's just terrible.
Well, I can't let him get away with it anymore. From day 58 to day 62, I expanded my sheep pen to make room for even more sheep. There, now you guys can spread out a bit more and have some room to roam. They didn't say anything back, but I think they were happy about it. Next, I returned to the mines. The diamond the bear dropped got me thinking. I want to craft some diamond gear. I gathered some diamonds and used them, along with the diamond the bear dropped, to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Now I'm even shinier than ever. Take that, Goblin King. When I climbed back out of the mines and went back to my base, Greg was waiting for me.
Welcome back, kid. Since we've got more folks staying with us now, I took the liberty of letting them invite even more friends over. Hopefully you don't mind.
Of course I don't mind. You know what I say, the more the merrier. From day 63 to day 66, I tried to decide where to go next. I need to keep getting stronger so I can stop the Goblin King from carrying out his evil plans. What should I do next?
Zozo, I just got a letter from my friend in the lush tundra. She said that there is some kind of dangerous creature out there making trouble, and it might be working for the Goblin King. If you play your cards right, you could get fighting experience and some information, all at the same time.
Wow, that's like getting two things with only one thing. Awesome! I traveled to the lush tundra, and a huge warped toad leapt into my path. Uh-oh, this must be the creature making trouble. I got my sword ready and was taking a deep breath to unleash some fire on the toad when she spoke.
Wait, no! I'm Alex, Lyle's friend. I'm the one who asked for your help. You're Zozo, right?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. So if you're not the one I'm here to fight, who is? From day 67 to day 70, Alex the warped toad led me to the danger she had told me about. A warped Moscow hovering menacingly above the ground.
There it is! Think you can help?
I sure do. Time to squash that bug.
Be careful. That's one mean Moscow.
I listened to Alex's warning, and I approached the warped Moscow slowly. But as soon as it saw me, it started buzzing aggressively and swooped at me. I had to dodge and counter with a fireball. The warped Moscow couldn't get away in time, and the fireball hit it, knocking it down. I took my chance to finish it off right then and there. I did it! Your Moscow troubles are over, Alex.
Thank you so much. Lyle wasn't kidding. You really are a hero.
I'm just trying my best. I only hope I'm going to be enough of a hero to take on the Goblin King. From day 71 to day 74, I decided to explore the lush tundra a bit more. I already came all the way out here, I might as well get a good look. As I was exploring, I spotted a sign that spelled out Z-O-Z. I didn't know what that means, but it's almost my name. That reminds me, if you want to see more Zozo videos, you can find them by searching Z-O-Z-O. I arrived in a new part of the lush tundra and saw a chest there. Oh, I wonder what's inside. When I opened it, there was nothing in there. Oh, that's disappointing.
Wee-hee-hee-hee! Sorry to see you so sad, Zozo! Just kidding! I love to see you sad! Hee-hee-hee! You'll never beat me!
I was so angry, I shot a fireball at the Goblin King, but he dodged it and attacked me. He was still way too strong for me to fight him and win. Just you wait. I'll get stronger, and then you'll know how it feels to lose. I didn't want to, but I had to get out of there. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. When I finally got there, I was so mad that I locked myself in my room. I can't believe I had to run away like that. I'm such a loser. I heard someone outside of my room, and when I went to check, the Silver Loba was standing there.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to show you something. I've been heading on to the base. Want to come look?
Okay. I followed her, and she led me to a new watchtower. You built this for me?
I wanted to cheer you up. It'll help keep us all a lot safer, in case the Goblin King tries anything sneaky.
That's so great. Thank you. I feel better already.
I've also got something that might help, too.
Greg came over and handed me a novelty hat.
It's silly, but I told you a home is a good place to hang your hat. So, I got you a hat.
When I put the hat on, I felt a lot better and stronger too. Before I knew it, my hearts increased to 100. I jumped for joy, and I jumped way higher than usual. Whoa, a jump boost! Thank you so much! From day 79 to day 84, I ventured back out into the lush tundra to look for the Goblin King. Now that I'm stronger, I want to try and fight him again. I looked all over, but didn't see him anywhere. I did see some Black Death though. Close enough for now. Still an evil force I can test out my new strength on. I fought the Black Death and beat it easily. When I did, I was approached by a grateful rat.
Ew, that was very impressive fighting. I couldn't help but notice your shiny diamond sword. Someone dropped this, and I picked it up to keep. But I think you should have it. Here!
The rat gave me diamond leggings. This is perfect. From day 85 to day 89, I took my new diamond leggings and traveled back home to my base. When I got there, I was shocked to see Ogre stamping all over the place, tearing it down. No, get out of here!
Oh no! Did you think we wouldn't find you? Smash, 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 smash the whole place to bits!
I shot a fireball at the ogres, and they ran off into the fields. Ah, no you don't. I chased after them as fast as I could. As I was pursuing the ogres, a rat jumped in front of me.
Quickly, could you tell me the way to the lush tundra? My cousin lives there.
I pointed him in the right direction.
Thanks, you're a pal.
With another good deed done, I continued my chase. From day 90 to day 94, I tracked the ogres all the way to a castle. This must be Goblin King's palace. I'd better not get too close. I'm sure he's got guards all over the place. I'll focus on these jokers for now. I decided to shoot a fireball at the guard at the castle entrance. That's what you get for messing with my home.
Ouch! Get a boss!
Is the Goblin King here?
No, he won't dirty his hands fighting you, little gorilla. That's my job.
A plague beast emerged and came running at me. He attacked me before I could do anything, and the blow knocked me back. Uh-oh, this guy is really strong. This won't be easy. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the plague beast. It was, by far, my most dangerous fight yet. I've got to make it through this. I can't let the Goblin King win.
He's already won, fool! There are only a handful of days left before his army will sweep the land, imprisoning any that dare to try to outshine the king!
No! I won't let that happen! I used my jump boost to jump out of the way of his next attack and blasted him with a fireball. Then I came at him with my diamond sword and finally turned the tide of the fight. I was going to win! For my final attack, I jumped high and hit him where he least expected it.
It seems I underestimated you. Perhaps you will win after all, if you can best the Goblin King himself in a one-on-one fight, that is.
I will, no matter what. I'm going to do whatever it takes to defeat the Goblin King once and for all. And just like that, the Plague Beast was defeated! On day 98, I returned to my base with a renewed sense of purpose. This golden gorilla is going to win! I just know it. I've come a long way, and I know I still have room to improve, but I feel like a real hero now. Brighter, stronger, and shinier than ever. First, the Silver Lobo spoke to me.
You are Zozo. Here, take this health potion for help on your quest. I believe in you. We all deserve to shine, and you shine brighter than anyone I've ever met.
That means a lot. Thank you. And then, Greg.
Hey kid, I'm proud of you. Don't leave without your hat, okay?
I would never. And finally, Lyle.
Remember, the Goblin King only wins fights by sneaking up on people. Don't let him sneak up on you, and you'll be able to defeat him.
Thank you for believing in me. I'll try my best. On day 99, I set off on my journey to the Goblin King's castle. I passed through the lush tundra on my way and remembered my success there. I was able to help so many people, and if I can pull this off, it'll help so many more. Finally, I reached the castle. It was crawling with ogre guards. I'll never get through all of them without the Goblin King finding out I'm here. If he does, he'll be able to sneak up on me. As I was trying to come up with a plan, Alex, the warped toad, jumped out of hiding and started attacking the ogres. Alex, you came to help me.
We toads believe in reciprocity. You helped me, I help you. Now get inside and finish this.
Alex led the ogres away, and I began to sneak into the castle. On day 100, I crept my way into the castle. That's where I saw the Goblin King looking at horses. I thought about attacking him, but I realized that would be wrong. I'm not like him. I want a fair fight. Hey, stop horsing around.
What? What's happening? Oh, wee Zozo, I see. You've come to my palace to turn yourself in?
No, I'm here to fight you. Fair and square. No tricks.
A Goblin King always has a few tricks up his sleeve.
Suddenly, he turned invisible, and I lost sight of him. Uh-oh, he's somewhere in here, trying to sneak up on me. I listened carefully, and when I heard him moving, I used my jump boost to jump out of the way of his ambush. Ha! Gotcha! I spotted him and launched a fireball at him. It hit!
Ow, ow, ow! No! You're not supposed to be so good at this! I'm supposed to win! I always win!
Not anymore! I attacked with my sword next. He fought back, but I was stronger than him. I had learned how to defeat the forces of evil, and after a difficult fight, I finally did! The Goblin King crown fell on the floor at my feet. If I were like you, I'd take this, but I don't want to be king. I just want to go home and hang out with my friends. I'm ending this reign of terror, here and now. And with one last fireball, I finished him off. It was finally over! I did it! Time to go home, hug my friends, and take a well-deserved nap. From now on, things are gonna be good as gold. On day 1, I spawned onto the beach as a land octopus! Whoa! I have 8 legs and 10 hearts! This is crazy! I wonder what adventure I'll get up to! But my excitement was interrupted when I sensed a presence coming towards me with my heightened octopus senses! I saw a Vindicator chef coming towards me! Ah! Who are you?
You don't know me? Well, I must say I find that rather hard to believe, for I am Victor Clef, the Vindicator chef, the most famous celebrity chef in the overworld.
Oh, well, hi then, Chef Clef. I'm Zozo. I'm excited to meet you. What kind of things can you cook?
I can cook anything and everything. But right now, I'm feeling like calamari. That's meat from octopus.
Oh no! I slithered away as fast as possible. Lucky for me, I was able to take advantage of my slippery octopus speed to escape certain doom. But I hadn't been able to fully escape yet. Some royal guards who worked for Victor Clef, the Vindicator chef, came running after me, and with no weapons, all I could do was slither for my life.
I was able to get out of there, but only barely. I need to find some way to defend myself, or I'm gonna go from a land octopus to an overpriced dish in no time. On day 2, I continued slithering across the beach. My run-in with that diabolical chef had left me exhausted, and sadly, it had also left me feeling really hungry. I don't want my hunger bar to fall any further. Time to sample the bounty of the sea. I slithered over to the sea, where luckily I was able to find a fishing rod just lying around. With that, I was able to catch some tasty fish and bring my hunger bar back up. That's more like it. Now let's put a roof over my head. I searched around until I found some trees and broke them down with my tentacles. I was able to make a wooden pickaxe and then mine down into the ground until I'd gathered enough stone to make myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. With the rest of my wood and stone, it wasn't hard to start building my beachside dream house, the perfect place for a land octopus like me to live. It's not much, but it looks cozy and easy to defend. And I'd need to defend it sooner than I thought. One of Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef's minions, the Royal Guards, ran in towards me.
Hey, there you are. The chef will reward me for capturing you. The great feast is only 99 days away, and it's our job to ensure he has all the ingredients he needs.
I'll never be an ingredient for your evil boss. I swear on all 8 of my tentacles. We squared up and started to battle, and it turned out that 8 limbs are better than 4, cause in the end, I defeated him. Nobody gets to cook me. On day 3, I slithered away from the beach and into the cold swamplands. Who knows what interesting resources I can find out here? I pulled out my fishing rod and tried to fish in one of the pools of swamp water when I heard thundering footsteps in the distance. Moments later, a giant squall golem turned up, ready to battle.
You're one of the ingredients on Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef's recipe list.
Lists? There are even more people your boss wants to cook up?
Yep, and they should be honored. They will find true purpose as one of the chef's delicious dishes. He's a genius. If you could taste the meal he's going to turn you into, you'd give yourself up now.
I'm never ever gonna give up! Least of all to someone who wants to put me in a crockpot. Let's battle! But I may have been an overeager octopus because the squall golem was way tougher than I thought. I was losing a lot of fights and not doing much damage, so I needed to get out of there. As I was running away, I saw an armored piglin hop out of a hidden trapdoor.
Quick, get in here with me.
My mom always taught me to trust strange men hopping out of holes in the ground. I hopped into the trapdoor with the piglin, and we hid together as the squall golem passed above. You really saved my bacon there, armored piglin.
The name's Patrick, and it's not just your bacon I'm looking to save. Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef, wants pork on his menu, so I'm in just as much danger as you.
And I guess we better stick together. There's safety in numbers. Come back to my base with me, Patrick.
I've heard worse plans.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to my base with Patrick the Armored Piglin, my new friend and ally in our joint quest to not get eaten. Alrighty, time to build you a new room. So that's exactly what I did. I gathered up more wood and stone and started constructing a new bedroom above mine. Perfect for Patrick to rest his weary head. He seemed impressed with my work.
Thanks for this, Zozo. Great work. If you don't mind, I'm gonna hit the hay for the rest of the day. It's been a long week.
No problem, man. As Patrick went to bed, I started exploring the beach, hoping to find more interesting treasures. Instead, I found another little group of royal guards, and they were looking for a fight.
Only 95 days until the grand feast. We can't let this sketchy cephalopod get away.
What followed wasn't an easy fight, as guard after guard ran over to me, but in the end, I came out on top. I noticed that one of the defeated royal guards had dropped something too, a stack of javelins. Finally, a ranged attack! This is going to be so useful! From day 6 to day 8, I was out shepherding sheep. I lured them back to my base, where I built a paddock for them. This will be perfect if I need any wool later. I was wandering the far reaches of the beach again when I encountered something I was a lot less eager to see. Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef, now carrying a huge scary machete.
Like my new cooking tool, Zozo? It slices my ingredients nice and fine. I figured I'd give you a first-hand demonstration.
Maybe not. I think I'd prefer to just take your word for it.
Please, Zozo, I insist. Witness a master chef at work.
Victor lunged forward and gave me a slash with his machete, knocking off a bunch of my hearts. For a chef, he was so strong. Couldn't fight back. All I could do was slither away as fast as possible.
You can run, but you can't hide, Zozo. You'll end up in my pot, one way or another.
From day 9 to day 10, I returned to the base, feeling shaken by what a close call that last fight had been. Thankfully, I didn't have much time to dwell on my thoughts, because Patrick the armored piglin was there waiting for me.
Zozo, you're alive!
Barely! Victor almost destroyed me!
But he didn't! That in itself is amazing! Speaking of amazing, I've been working on a statue for you. Something to inspire you to work and fight hard. Go take a look.
So I did. The statue had only just been started, but it still looked so cool. I couldn't tell what it was yet, but I couldn't wait to find out. What about you guys? What do you think? Tell me what you think it is down in the comments. But that wasn't all that Patrick had done while I was away from the base. He'd also built a storage room for us to keep weapons and supplies in. This is such an amazing upgrade. The base is really starting to feel like a true home. From day 11 to day 12, after all those days of construction work on the base, Patrick and I decided to relax together. What's the story behind Victor Clef the Vindicator Chef? How did he end up so powerful?
He was once an average vindicator, or so I've heard. But he had such a talent for cooking that people started doing favors for him in exchange for a chance to try his food.
Yeah, I can see how that makes someone popular, but he's got a whole army at his beck and call. Royal guards, the squall golem, and who knows what else.
That's because his cooking made him popular with the rich and powerful people. Lords and ladies, kings and queens, business people and military generals. He was so in demand that soon enough, he was as rich and powerful as any of them.
So that's how he became so connected. And I'm guessing the Grand Feast is where he caters to all these rich and powerful people?
You guessed correctly. Anyone wants a seat at the table, and they want us on the plates.
And we're gonna have to destroy Victor before the feast rolls around! From day 13 to day 15, knowing the dangerous scope of Victor Clef the Vindicator Chef's evil plans, I knew that I needed to get stronger and settle some old scores. That's why I returned to the cold swamplands to take on the diabolical squall golem who was waiting for me there.
Oh, there you are, little land octopus. You gave me the runaround last time. This time, I'll really turn you into squid rings.
You said it yourself, Squall Golem. I'm an octopus, so that joke doesn't even make sense.
Drat, you're right. Let's just fight.
So we did. This time, though, I warmed him up with some laser-focused javelins before going in with my sword and fighting him with everything I had. It wasn't easy, but in the end, he was defeated and I was victorious. But it wasn't just a symbolic victory. I'd gained enough XP to level up and become a bigger, stronger octopus with 30 hearts. I also developed a new power, Invisibility Camouflage, a classic octopus power. This will come in handy against that evil chef. From day 16 to day 19, I decided it was time to give my weapons a level up. That's why I searched the beach until I found an underground mining cavern and slithered down inside. Oh, it's dark down here. Thank goodness octopi are used to slithering around in cold, dark places. After a few hours of searching, I found a vein of iron ore in the ground and used my stone pickaxe to dig it up. This should be enough iron ore to work with. But that's when I realized I wasn't alone in the mining cavern. There was a fungus thrower down there, and you'll never guess what he was doing. That's right, he was throwing fungus. Gross. I won't let you get away with this! I returned fire with my javelins until the fungus thrower was defeated! I retired to my base after that, using the furnace to smelt my iron ore into ingots and build a brand new iron sword and iron pickaxe. Soon I'm gonna have more weapons and tools than I have tentacles! From day 20 to day 22, I woke up with Patrick the armored piglin standing in my bedroom.
Zozo, Victor Clef the Vindicator Chef is standing right outside our base.
Oh no, am I having a night terror?
No, Zozo, you're having a day terror. Get up before he runs in here and annihilates us both.
Didn't leave much up to interpretation. I slithered out of bed, grabbed my sword, and turned invisible. I snuck outside to get the jump on Victor. I saw him standing there, right in front of the base, his machete looking as shiny and deadly as ever. I needed to be really careful, even though I was invisible.
That Zozo has got to be around here somewhere. I smell fresh seafood, but I can't see him anywhere.
And now was my chance. It was time for a sneak attack. I ran up behind him, turned visible, and struck him with my sword. He seemed surprised by my attack, and I hit him again before he could even hit me back.
You slippery little molluscule!
The battle was on. Victor was still extremely tough, but this time I was a little more ready to face him. By the time he stepped away from the fight, he looked worn out.
This isn't the best use of my time. I'm going to go and prepare other dishes. I'll come back for you later, Zozo. I'll serve you fresh.
Victor ran off after that. I was amazed I'd survived. But now, I also knew there was hope for me, a lowly land octopus, to defeat the deadliest chef in the land. From day 23 to day 26, I was walking around the beach by my base when I spotted something in the sand. Hey, what's this? I took a closer look and saw that it was a shield of the deep. Wow, this is pretty snazzy. It must have washed up on shore. I'm so lucky. I picked up the shield and tried it out. Shield is amazing. I can't wait to try it out in a real fight. As I was walking back to my base with my new shield, I saw something written in the sand. Z-O-Z-O. Hey, that's me! That reminds me, if you want to see more of my adventures, you can find them by searching Z-O-Z-O. From day 27 to day 31, I woke up to the sound of Patrick the Armored Piglin in my room.
Zozo, I've been working on the statue. Come take a look.
I followed him to the statue and admired the progress he'd made. This looks great! I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Thank you. I can tell it's missing something, but I'm not sure what.
What if you added some gold?
That's a great idea. There should be some out in the dunes. Would you be so kind as to go out and gather some for me?
Sure. I traveled to the dunes and started searching for gold. While I was looking around, a group of royal guards spotted me.
Look, that evasive octopus is back. The grand feast approaches. We can't let him get away this time.
Told you before, I'm not gonna be a dish at your feast. I just need some stuff for a statue.
You can come willingly, or we can throw you into the pot ourselves.
Or third option, I do this. I charged at the guards and attacked with my sword. They weren't ready for me to be so bold, and it gave me the advantage I needed to win. From day 32 to day 35, I was happy to begin another day where I wasn't somebody's meal. The feast getting closer, they're gonna be more desperate to catch me. I'll need to be on guard and do everything I can to get stronger.
Excuse me? I know you're talking to yourself right now, but could you maybe help me out?
I looked, and there was a poisoned anemone in front of me. Oh, sure. What do you need help with?
Someone working for Chef Clef kidnapped my friend, the killer bunny. He said something about making her into rabbit stew, and I'm so worried. I'm not much of a fighter, so I'd really appreciate it if you could lend a tentacle.
Heck, I'll lend all 8. Show me where to go. From day 36 to day 39, I followed the poison anemone's directions and listened for the sound of a killer bunny in danger. I ended up outside of a small base further along the dunes and stopped when I heard a terrified voice coming from inside.
Help! Somebody help!
I turned invisible and snuck inside. There, I saw a Strider keeping the killer bunny locked up in a cage. So I snuck up behind the Strider and turned visible just in time to strike him with my sword.
Ouch! Where'd you come from? Never mind, an octopus and a rabbit will surely give me an invitation to the great feast.
All this for a party you're not even invited to? That's pretty sad, buddy.
Shut up! You're the sad one!
From day 40 to day 43, I continued my fight with the Strider. He lunged at me, but I countered with another attack. And before long, he was knocked down for good. Bunny, I'm here to help. I grabbed a key off the ground and unlocked the cage.
Thank you so much. I thought I was going to wind up as somebody's soup for sure.
Not on my watch. I'm on that ingredient list too. We've got to stick together so we don't end up on a plate. Your friend sent me. Come on. I led the killer bunny back to the poisoned anemone, and he couldn't have been happier.
Here, I want you to take this potion of healing as a thank you. I spent so much time being poisonous, it's given me a real talent for making healing potions. You wouldn't believe how much they come in handy.
Thank you! You both stay safe. Watch out for Chef Clef and his goons. From day 44 to day 49, I finally managed to gather some gold after my side quest was complete. So I headed back to my base to give Patrick the Armored Piglin everything he needed to finish the statue. Patrick, I've got your gold.
Thank you so much, Zozo. I'll get right to work.
Well, Patrick's working on the statue. Maybe I should start a project too. Oh, I know. I'll build a perimeter wall to keep the base safe, in case Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef, tries to break in and cook me up again. I built a huge wall around the perimeter of the base, and when I was finished, I took a step back and admired my work. Awesome! I definitely feel a lot safer now. I wonder how it's going with Patrick. I headed back over to check out the statue, and the gold really added a lot to it. This looks great, Patrick. Nice job.
Can you tell what it is yet?
Not yet, but there's definitely something familiar about it. I can't wait to see how it looks when it's done.
I'm almost there.
From day 50 to day 53, I was starting to feel nervous. We're halfway to the Great Feast, and I'm scared that Chef Clef is going to try something sneaky. I'm sure he and his goons are starting to get desperate. Just then, Patrick, the armored piglin, ran to my room to confirm my fears.
Zozo, there are a bunch of royal guards breaking through the perimeter wall.
Oh no, is Chef Clef with them?
No, but he's nearby. I can hear him yelling orders to all of them.
So he won't even face me himself, that cowardly so-and-so. I charged out of my room, and sure enough, there were royal guards storming my home.
Grab the piglin, then get the octopus.
No, get away from him! I tried to stop the royal guards, but a whole bunch of them attacked me to keep me busy, while one grabbed Patrick and dragged him away. I'll come save you as soon as I can, I promise. The royal guards closed in around me, but I fought back, taking them out one by one. When I finally finished, I grew into a bigger octopus. My hearts increased to 50, and I realized I had a new ability. Whoa, I can shift shape now. You watch yourself, Chef. I'm going to get my friend back. From day 54 to day 57, I went into my room and thought about what just happened. What should I do? I need to figure out a way to get Patrick back. If only I knew someone who had dealt with a kidnapped friend before. Wait a minute, I do know someone. That poisoned an enemy. I don't have much time to waste. I need to go to the dunes now. I ran to the dunes as fast as my tentacles could carry me and stopped at the poisoned enemy's home. Hello? It's Zozo! I need your help!
Oh, Zozo, welcome. Anything for the octopus that helped me get Bunny back?
Chef Clef kidnapped my friend. I think he wants to turn him into bacon. I have to get him back.
Yikes, that's terrible. Well, he probably took your friend back to his base. So you'll definitely need to bring your strongest weapons if you're gonna make it in and out of there without getting grilled. Literally. Do you have any diamond weapons?
Not yet.
Then my advice is to get mining, and fast. Then check the Flowering Grove. I've heard that Chef Clef holds his prisoners in a base there.
From day 58 to day 62, I rushed back into the mines. Okay, diamonds, time to get mine. So anyway, I started mining, and I kept digging until I saw something sparkly. Yes, diamonds! I dug up all the diamonds and was getting ready to carry them back to my base when a spider suddenly crawled out of the shadows and bit me. Hey, back off, creepy crawly. I thought us eight-legged freaks could stick together, but I guess not. Spider didn't answer. He bit me again. Come on, I guess I'll have to squash this bug. I attacked the spider with my sword and managed to defeat it pretty quickly. Can't let a spider slow me down while I'm trying to get ready for a rescue mission. I took the diamonds back to my base and used them to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Look at this. I'm so ready to fight Chef Clef now. From day 63 to day 66, I was trying out my new diamond sword and practicing my fighting. I was running all over the base, getting really carried away, and before I knew it, I ended up looking at the statue that Patrick had been working on. Oh, I almost forgot. I made this sword for a reason. I can't forget my mission. I have to go to Chef Clef's base and get Patrick back. He's not gonna want to end up on a banquet table. I won't let that happen. I took one more look at that beautiful statue. Still can't tell what it is, but I'll make sure Patrick gets the chance to finish it. Also, before I forget, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing adventures in Minecraft. Time for me to go and save my friend. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the Flowering Grove to try and fight for my friend back. It didn't take me long to spot Chef Clef's base. It was huge and evil looking, and I knew right away that it belonged to a bad guy. I couldn't run right inside. There were royal guards stationed all over the place. I guess I'll have to fight my way in.
Oh look, it's that slippery octopus that keeps eluding our grasp. Quick, capture him so the chef can prepare him. The feast is only 30 days away. Maybe he can serve roasted pig and octopus.
No one's gonna eat me or any of my friends. I don't care what kind of huge feast you have planned. Chef Clef is just going to have to deal with the disappointment.
No one disappoints the Vindicator Chef. Perish for your foolish words.
With that, the royal guards charged at me. Using my diamond sword, I fought them all until there was no more guards left. Wait a minute, I can shapeshift now. I'll turn into a guard, and no one will know it's me. I shapeshifted into a royal guard and headed inside. I
I just have to keep walking and look confident. They'll never know the difference. From day 71 to day 74, I was strolling through the Vindicator Chef's base as casually as I could. I even whistled to myself a little bit, just to look like I was extra casual. But a little while into my exploration, a squall golem confronted me.
You, God, what are you doing in this area? You're supposed to be patrolling outside and keeping an eye out for that octopus.
Oh, I'm on a special mission from the boss. Yeah, that's it.
I didn't hear anything about a special mission. That sounds pretty suspicious to me. Say, what's the Royal Guard secret handshake? If you're really a god, surely you know the handshake.
It's a big thumbs up.
Intruder! Intruder!
The squall golem attacked me, and I shifted back into my true shape.
I knew it! You're that octopus!
I may not be a real guard, but I still can fight! The squall golem lunged at me, and I countered with my diamond sword. I was so much stronger than before. He was big and tough, but I still managed to defeat him. That was a close one. I hope nobody hurt him. As I was getting ready to leave the room, I spotted a chest. Ooh, what's in here? I opened it up and found a full set of diamond armor. Hey, this matches my sword, and it'll protect me. Functional and fashionable.
Help! Help! Somebody help!
Patrick, you must be in here. I turned invisible and followed the sound of Patrick's voice. From day 75 to day 78, I snuck into the next area of the base, using my invisibility to stay out of sight. I found myself in the chef's kitchen, and there, in a cage in the corner, was Patrick the Armored Piglin. Oh no, it looks like he's getting ready to cook Patrick.
Let's see, how should I prepare you? Barbecue pork, bacon, sausage? Why stop at just one way? You've got a lot of meat on your bones. I can make all three.
Please, don't eat me.
I'm afraid it can't be helped. I have a lot of people to feed at my feast, and I have a reputation of culinary excellence to uphold. Some sacrifices must be made. You don't get to be a world-famous celebrity chef without them. You know the expression. If you want to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs. In this scenario, you're one of the eggs.
At that moment, I turned visible again and drew my sword. He's not an egg, he's my friend.
Oh, Zozo! How nice of you to deliver yourself straight to my kitchen. Good news! I've decided to upgrade you from appetizer to main course.
While he was gloating, I attacked, knocking the chef back. While he was recovering from the hit, I quickly unlocked the cage and set Patrick free. Run, Patrick, run home! I'll meet you there!
Thank you, Zozo. Be careful.
Patrick ran out of the room, and I turned back to the Vindicator Chef to continue our fight. But when I looked, he was gone. Hey, where'd you go? We weren't done fighting. Could hear his voice coming from another room.
Oh, we'll fight again, Zozo. And next time, it'll end with you on a serving platter.
From day 79 to day 84, I ran out of the Vindicator Chef's base and started my journey home. Meanwhile, in his back room, Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef, was whipping up a new culinary creation. It wasn't a dish this time, but a potion.
This may not be my most delicious recipe, but it will bring me a truly tasty victory. Potion of strength. Let's see how you do.
He drank the potion and became larger. He flexed his new muscles and cackled evilly.
I'd like to see you try and defeat me now, Zozo. With this new power, there isn't an ingredient in the land who can escape me. I'll cook anything and anyone I please.
From day 85 to day 89, I arrived back at my base. When I got there, Patrick was waiting for me.
You did it, Zozo. You saved me. You're amazing. Thanks for saving my bacon back there.
Of course, you're my friend. But the fight isn't over. Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef, got away from me before I could try to finish the battle. I don't know what he's planning next.
Me neither, but I do have something that I think can help you. On my way out of the base, I found this book. It contains a fire aspect enchantment. You can enchant your sword and use it to set fire to a target. Let's see how the chef likes being cooked for a change.
Awesome! I'll try it out!
While you do, I'm gonna finally finish that statue.
I used my fire aspect enchantment to enchant my sword, and it worked great! By the time I was done, Patrick was finished with the statue, so I decided to take a look at it. Wow, it's amazing!
Can you tell what it is now?
Yes, it's an octopus! Thank you, Patrick. I love it!
I hope that the confidence from this octopus statue and the power of your new enchanted sword give you the strength to defeat the Vindicator Chef. The feast is getting closer and closer, and we have to be ready.
What else can I do to get ready?
I've heard there's a potion of power hidden out in the dunes. The area is protected by royal guards, but I know you can beat them and get inside.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed Patrick's instructions and traveled to the dunes. Once I was there, all I had to do was look for the cluster of royal guards, and then I knew I was in the right place.
Infernal octopus! You won't get away from us this time!
Well, I've gotten away every other time, so I think my odds are pretty good. They didn't like that very much, and they charged at me to attack. But I set them ablaze with my newly enchanted sword and burnt them all to a crisp. I hope the chef likes his guards well done. There was no one around to hear my hilarious joke, but I laughed at it anyway. Next, I headed into the building and looked for that potion. Chest! I bet it's in here. I broke the chest open, and I was right. There was a potion of power inside. I drink it right now? No, I'd better wait until I really need it. This will be my secret ingredient. From day 95 to day 97, I traveled back to my base. The feast is only a few days away. I'm running out of time to prepare. Let's see, I've got the enchantment on my sword. I've got a potion of power. What else can I do to make sure I'm ready? Just then, I heard someone at the entrance to my base. Uh-oh, I wonder who that is. When I went to check, I was happy to see that it was the poison anemone.
Zozo, I've heard you're getting ready to take down Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef. I want to help.
Really? But you're safe from him. He doesn't want to cook with the poison anemone. You'd make his dinner guests sick.
That may be true, but he's targeted my friends. Once you go after people I care about, that gets me pretty steamed. No pun intended. So I brought you this. I never had much use for it, but I bet a warrior like you could get a lot out of it.
I wasn't sure what to expect, but my jaw dropped when he produced a full set of netherite armor. Whoa, this stuff is really rare.
Is it? I don't know much about fighting. I'm an anemone without many enemies, you see. But I'm glad. If he can help protect the creatures on the chef's ingredient list, then I know I've done my part. Bunny would be hopping mad at me if I didn't contribute something, and I'd be pretty mad at myself too.
Well, you've helped a ton. Thank you. For a poisoned anemone, you're really nice.
Well, even though I'm poisonous, I try not to be toxic. Good luck, Zozo.
On day 98, I spent the day getting all of my gear together. I had my netherite armor, my sword, my potion of power, and all of the strength and encouragement I got from my friends. I feel like I finally have everything I need. The only thing left to do now is get back to the Vindicator Chef's lair and put a stop to this. Only 2 days until the feast, and the only thing I want to be served is justice. As I was about to leave, I couldn't help but feel like I was forgetting something. Oh, I know! Don't forget to search for more Zozo videos, and leave a comment about who you want to see me play as next. On day 99, I made my journey to the Flowering Grove, back to the lair of Victor Clef, the Vindicator Chef. No guard outside. Guess I finally defeated all of them. I don't know what's waiting for me inside. I think now is the moment for my secret ingredient. Let's see how much power this potion really has. I grabbed the potion of power and drank every last drop. Whoa, I definitely feel it! Immediately, I started to transform into an even bigger, stronger, tougher octopus than before! I'm huge! And my hearts have increased! I have 100 now! Okay, it's time to go in! Feeling powerful, I let my tentacles carry me inside the base! No shape-shifting or invisibility this time. I want the chef to see me coming and know what he's up against. I found him in the kitchen. Whoa, he looks a lot bigger than last time. Good thing I'm much bigger too.
Well, look at you. I guess I'll be serving very generous portions of octopus as a feast tomorrow.
No one's going to be eating anything except for you and this humble pie I'm about to serve.
I'm not familiar with that particular cuisine.
It's an expression! It means I'm gonna kick your butt! The Vindicator Chef lunged at me, knocking me back, but my new armor protected me from taking any damage. Now, it's my turn. I drew my sword and used the fire enchantment, setting the Vindicator Chef on fire!
Ow, 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 you cut that out!
It's not fun being cooked, is it?
You can't do this to me. I'm famous. I'm a celebrity.
I don't care how famous you are. You can't keep hurting people, especially not my friends. He tried to attack me again, but he was too weak now, and in just one more hit, I finally managed to defeat him. On day 100, I traveled back home. Can't believe I did it! Everyone is safe now! When I arrived home, I saw that Patrick was throwing a big party for me. First, I spoke to Patrick.
Congratulations, Zozo. I knew you could do it.
And then, the poison anemone.
You saved the day! You saved everyone! What are you gonna do now?
Honestly, all that fighting worked up a pretty big appetite. I kind of feel like having a feast.